Okay, so there you go. So, yep, June the 15th, and we are off and running. Now, just FYI programming note, um, we will obviously be in tomorrow. Tomorrow, Chris Deering is going to join you and I. Lou Bizak has written a very good article in the state paper on this. I don't know if I want to say controversy. I don't know how you want to phrase it, but this charter school versus public school type deal, and we're going to get into that a little bit more tomorrow as it pertains to the direction, I guess, of the high school league is how we
Yeah,
want to say it.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, here's the thing: public charter. Not many people are ever very much fans of the South Carolina High School League.
Right.
They have the unfortunate position of catching everybody's complaints, but the high school league is in an even tougher situation than they've been in the past.
So we'll get into that tomorrow with Chris Deering. It'll start about 7 o'clock, and we're going to kind of go as long as I say necessary. We do have Kerry Tharp tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in that conversation because what I envision, I want to just lay out the sides of the conversation, lay out the pluses and the minuses, the pros and cons from everybody's side, so that everybody can have a more informed understanding. Because what happens is that you hear about this conversation from one side or the other, and you don't hear everybody's arguments at one time. So that's hopefully we can get that done.
We'll do. It'll be kind of a learning thing for me. I was reading Lou's article again, very good, and we'll get into that a little bit more as tomorrow pertains to the show. We will then be off Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to take I know a lot of people are like, oh, you take tons of days off. Trust me. A, I've got them. B, I'm going to take them. I'm going to use these bad boys. But so I'm going to take, we're all off as a station on Monday for Juneteenth, and then we're going to be off on Tuesday. This show, at least, will be off on Tuesday as well. So a little bit of a programming note here.
Also, I'd like to encourage you out there, if you have days off on your job,
you should take them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Preferably, we do a lot of the days off prior to football season because about mid-August, it's a all hands on deck and you're working every day. So 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. So do you guys expect me to show up and go on a vicious rant about the Mayor's Cup?
I'm listening.
I'm happy with this thing.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't, you know what? As I saw it last night, I thought, you know what? If you're going to give me Ole Miss and LSU at home, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt on the road, you're going to keep the Kentucky game. Texas A&M, I'm okay with. Texas A&M actually out of the 8 games, Preston, Texas A&M was the one that I looked at and was like, really the most? Okay. No Tennessee, no Georgia, no Florida. Not playing this. We assume, we don't know, but we assume this is a one-off type schedule. But Ole Miss and LSU at Williams-Brice in 2024, trips to Alabama, Kentucky's a fun trip. You got to look at it from a fan's perspective. I'm not playing in the game, so
correct. This is all we're talking about right now.
Oklahoma, a trip to Nashville. You know what? When this thing popped up, I was like, "Ooh, I like this." Okay, if I have to get some of the games I really wanted, some matchups I liked, and you're going to have to throw Missouri in there, it's not the end of the world. I'm okay with this. Not seeing Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida for 1 year. It's going to be really odd, but I'm okay with it for a year. I'm good with this. Let's roll. I'm excited about this 2024 schedule.
Okay, all right. Well, that means that makes 2 of us, Bill, because through all the changes in the SEC, we're going to divisionless schedules. We're adding teams. I'm so happy that they saw fit to preserve the tradition, the storied historical tradition of not just the Mayor's Cup, but the Bonham Trophy.
Yeah, by the way, I'm now making an effort to that trophy magically disappear when it shows back up.
If it shows back up. Because we're currently in the midst of the longest streak in the long storied history of the Mayor's Cup.
Yeah.
We're down 0-4 right now. We have lost 4 in a row to our storied rivals, the Missouri Tigers. The Tigers, I should say. The number 1 Tigers, of which we have the longest streak of losing to, the Tigers. But also, like I said, not only the Mayor's Cup did they preserve, but they also preserved the Bonham Trophy. And you know which game that is, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the Texas A&M game.
That's
I forgot
right.
about
Yeah,
that thing.
the Bonham Trophy. Long storied history of the Bonham Trophy. So we preserve two of our biggest SEC rivals because those are the games that have trophies attached to
I
them.
was in a good mood. Now I remember there's this Texas A&M trophy that's completely irrelevant.
The Bonham Trophy, man. Get it right.
All right, yeah, I forgot about that. Less of a
Mhm.
good mood now, but no, I'm all for this. I think the SEC did a really good job in this in it across the board. Like I think the SEC set it up and did a really good job. I'm very happy for like what South Carolina's schedule is. I think the one thing, and I never heard anybody say it last night on any of the little shows that I was watching, but I really thought that they did a good job of going out of their way to create some really good matchups, almost to kind of tease ESPN. Like, oh, hey, we're going to give you LSU and Oklahoma. We're going to give you a Georgia, Texas. We're going to give you want one more of these, and we can find it, and we know how to make these things happen. Cool. But here's like a little sampler for your extra 80 million a year. This is what you can get. And that's how I kind of took it or perceived it. Is we have some really good inventory, and we're going to tease you with it because, quite honestly, I don't know from a television stand. Who knows what South Carolina looks like in 2024? Like they're going to be breaking in some new quarterback. I don't know who it's going to be, but they're going to be breaking in some new. I don't know if South Carolina's must-see TV, and it felt kind of like they did that. Like, people. Surprisingly, please do not feel hurt when I tell you this. People are not tuning in to see the Bonham Trophy game.
What?
Nor does people or ESPN's Game Day have the Mayor's Cup
It's
circled.
a storied rivalry, Bill.
Yes. Storied.
Historical.
We're now
long standing.
Preston's just changing the definitions of historical and storied. But Alabama, Alabama's got Georgia. Obviously they've got Auburn. They kept Tennessee. They've got LSU. They've got Oklahoma. You're going to get 5 games there with Alabama that is going to be must-see TV. Arkansas taking on Texas. That's going to be really good. That's going to be interesting. You look at it. Auburn. Auburn has Texas A&M. That's always a good one out of the West. But they also have Oklahoma in there. They've got their Georgia game. They've got I just mentioned the Auburn Alabama game. Florida again. They pick up Texas. So I felt like I can go through each one, but to go back, I really felt like what happened here is the SEC said we have some really good games. ESPN and ABC. We're gonna tease you with a couple of. Yeah. We can throw one more of these at you in 2025 if you're willing to pony up the money.
Yeah, they definitely made the schedule again. We've made fun of them, but they're masters at parsing out this information because I didn't watch the show, but I saw it on Twitter, and I saw all the different interactions between fan bases and putting the schedules up, and it does engender some excitement for the year that's not even here. So we're all talking about 2024, and 2023 hasn't even happened yet, and they've done a great job of doing that, and just shows the strength of the conference.
Yeah,
because as you look through all of those schedules, even though, and I'm just saying being South Carolina centric, even though we're not playing Georgia, we're not playing Florida, we're not Tennessee, the conference is so strong that you look at it and you say, okay, I can still go for these games. And that's a testament to how strong the conference is.
803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. Ron down in Lake Marion, he said, after seeing the 2024 SEC schedule, I'm going the Gamecock Larry route. 12-0. Is kind of what we're doing here. We're just bypassing 2023 now, but that's pretty cool. So we've got that going for us this morning. Again, if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100. I do want to, before you leave this morning, I do want to get into this too. There was an item auctioned off last night or yesterday for $1.3 million, almost 1.4. 1.3.
We're gonna get a live reaction because I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is a very interesting place for me to bring this topic up in terms of memorabilia. Like, okay. I don't know how you feel about like game worn jerseys or signed baseballs. There's a certain thing that if I had a bigger house, if I had a true like man cave, like just your own, that yes, I would. There's something I would buy constantly to fill that room with. But I'm going to be interested to see where you stand on this because basically $1.4 million for this, we'll call it historical item. I want to see Preston Thorne's reaction. And of course, we'll talk about this schedule as well. Shane Beamer also later on in the show, I'm going to let you listen to a lot of Shane Beamer had an interview yesterday on CBS Sports Radio, and we're going to let you listen to that as well. So a lot to do this morning. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, 803-404-6100. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Dave's Hot Chicken at 4601 Divine Street in Columbia is having their grand opening on Friday, and 107.5 The Game will be there. Heath Klein will be doing game time from Dave's Hot Chicken from 3 to 6 p.m. That's Heath, Friday from 3 to 6 at the grand opening of Dave's Hot Chicken, 4601 Divine Street.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. The U.S. Open tees off today at the normally secluded L.A. Country Club. Phil Mickelson will attempt yet again to complete a career Grand Slam. Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, and Brooks Koepka are the favorites, of course. Defending U.S. Open champ Matt Fitzpatrick articulated the major storyline this week, saying, "I don't think anybody knows what's going on concerning golf's future structure." I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
At the Home Depot, we take Father's Day seriously. Why not get doing and give Dad a gift card that gets him out of the house and into new projects? Because the dads who do the most deserve the most, whether he's into woodworking, yard work, or grilling up something for the family. A Home Depot gift card gives your dad the power to get everything he needs to keep doing the most. Shop today for a gift that powers Dad at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This summer, Epic comes home with the Disney Bundle with Avatar: The Way of Water and Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion on Disney+.
This is personal.
The Kardashians on Hulu and Flamin' Hot on both Disney+ and Hulu.
I'm the guy who helped bring the world the most popular snack it's ever seen.
Plus, Major League Baseball and the PGA Tour on ESPN+. All these and more streaming this summer, starting at just $9.99 a month. Plans with ESPN Plus starting at $12.99 a month. Blackouts and restrictions apply. 18 plus only. Access content from each service separately. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Terms apply.
Sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing wants you to gear up your truck or Jeep for your next off-road camping adventure. With millions of parts in stock, you'll find off-road and outdoor essentials so you can camp confidently and comfortably. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Do you remember your first Gamecock game? Who you were with and where did you sit? Where did you tailgate? What were you wearing? The idea that all those memories can come flooding back the moment you set foot on campus is real. So this year and every year, come to campus and catch a game. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game. Get your tickets today and catch a game at any time for any sport. Online at GamecocksOnline.com.
O'Harris Public House is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. Log on to 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $50 gift certificate to O'Harris for just $25.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
Are unauthorized parked cars taking up valuable spots in your lot? Schroeder's Towing has the solution. With 21 trucks in our fleet, we'll quickly remove any unauthorized vehicles from your property. Plus, we offer free signage to let everyone know that your lot is for customers only. At Schroeder's Towing, we take pride in providing reliable and professional towing services. Our team is available 24/7 to assist you with all of your towing needs. Don't let parking problems hurt your business. Call us today at 343-8519 and let us handle the rest.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
At Kroger, we know the minute a tomato is picked, the fresh timer starts. The sooner we get our produce to you, the fresher it is. That's why we've shortened the time from harvest to home for our tasty tomatoes, strawberries, and salads. So no matter how you shop, you have more time with your fresh produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Our summer festival continues with savings on boneless New York strip steaks, just $7.99 a pound in the family pack with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Don't appear to have any accidents out there this morning. Just one disabled vehicle, I-126 westbound at Greystone Boulevard. A couple storms popping up today. 86 for the high, 91 tomorrow. It's going to be dry and hot. And on Saturday, mostly sunny, 89 for the high. It's right. It's a little bit cloudy right now. It is 71 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
6:22 on a Thursday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, as we get you up and get you going, kind of discussing last night's SEC football schedule reveal show. Kudos to the SEC. They had that thing. I know you said you didn't see it, but prim and proper and lots of good advertising because, to be honest, that was a moneymaker. Last night, that was solely designed for the sales staff at the SEC network, whoever does the television sales, to
good job
to get out and
give them a bonus.
Hey, we got a big show we're going to put on here and reveal all the opponents. Matter of fact, you can give them a 2-for-1 and throw in a little bit of advertising on the actual schedule show that we still have to have. It's one of the morning.
They did do more than I thought because they gave us home and away. So I didn't think that was coming. I thought we were just getting opponents, and so we did get home and away. So we got a little bit closer. We didn't get dates. That's a whole nother show. But the home and away, that was a nice little touch.
My predicted schedule, or not predicted schedule, what I would say is the schedule that I wanted to see, right? The schedule that I had tweeted out the other day that I wanted to see really involved the vast majority of these teams. It did not involve Texas A&M. It did not involve Texas A&M and Missouri.
Bottom trophy in the Mayor's Cup.
I actually continuously forget that as soon as you say it, that those are.
That's why I appreciate Preston so much. I just got to tell you.
Not only do I choose to ignore them, I legitimately forget them the second that we move past that. But the schedule that I wanted, if I was having it my way, LSU, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Oklahoma at home. Okay, I get LSU, I get Ole Miss. I gotta trade Tennessee and Oklahoma at school. I still get Oklahoma, but I get A&M and Missouri. You know what? What I will be dead serious is when they move forward. If they're like, oh, these two teams have a trophy and we have to make them the permanents, that is where I will go slightly grizzled. But I'm okay with it. Then the road games that I wanted, at Alabama, at Kentucky, got both of those. At Vanderbilt, thank you, SEC,
Thank
for
you very much. We
securing
appreciate it.
our Nashville trip.
Thank you.
Whenever it is, that's a fun trip if you've never been to a football game up there. And at Florida, that was to me a not only a fair schedule, but a chance to see some stuff we haven't seen in a while. And that's to me the point of this is, oh, hey, look, I'm going to see two teams at Williams-Brice that only one of them has played at Williams-Brice since my daughter was born in 2009.
Who's that?
LSU. Ole Miss. LSU was 08.
Wow. Okay.
So that, I mean, you know, my next year 15-year-old daughter, she'll be 15 next year, will get to experience what it's like to see a bunch of these crazy Cajuns show up and how they tailgate and then they yell at you in the game and just the whole thing that goes with. I mean, to me, that's the exciting part. That's part of being in a conference, is seeing teams in your conference and seeing, again, what I'll say is their culture, their fandom, their what they do. And that is what has been the biggest problem with the SEC over the last 20 years, is not knowing how to rotate these teams properly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you make a decision like this, everyone is not going to be happy, right? But I think they did a fairly solid job. They really did. They really did a job of accommodating some different fan bases, getting some people to see things that they haven't seen before, and also just providing a solid slate of games from week to week, which it looks like that's the way it's going to end up shaking out. So kudos to all the folks. I was making fun of it prior to this, but in true SEC fashion, they've delivered.
Here's the other thing about South Carolina's portion of the schedule. I don't think it's overly daunting. Like the names stand out. LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas A&M. I get it. Can you tell me what Texas A&M is going to be this year, let alone next year with Jimbo Fisher
and Bobby Petrino?
I mean, like, they could be a juggernaut program with those. Yes, they could.
They also very could well not be.
I mean, again, you can't tell me that Texas A&M. I think I was listening to Heath the other day describe this blue chip ratio that some people use, and Texas A&M's up there. Like 50% of their roster or more is 4- and 5-star players. Yes, Texas A&M on paper has a lot of, but they're not showing it. I'm not sure if Jimbo Fisher. I mean, I know he's got that ridiculous contract. You have another 4-8, 5-7 type season. You don't go to a bowl. They might start looking for a new coach. That's a lot of money to pay somebody to not win championships, let alone not go to bowls.
And based on history, he just hired an offensive coordinator who will gladly take his position.
Yes.
It may even be angling for that position as we speak.
Understanding how to work the boosters. So, I again, Texas A&M in name, big name. Oklahoma, again, big name, but Brent Venables just went 6-7.
Yep.
Like, I'm not sure that's going to work. Like, it maybe it does.
Yeah, to get sport. I would have more confidence in Brent Venables getting it worked out than Jimbo Fisher, just to be honest. But you're right. It's going to take. Last year was not their best showing. Maybe chalk that up to him being a first-year head coach. I think he'll figure it out, but we don't know. That's not for sure.
I mean, it's then I look down the list and you go to Ole Miss, Mississippi. I'm not sure Lane Kiffin will still be there in 2024.
Good point.
I mean, who knows what happens this coming off season after 2023? He keeps rolling along. Who knows? You know, you just don't know. I mean, Florida. If Florida has a bad year, they may fire Billy Napier and be like, "That's it. We got to go get Lane Kiffin. That's the only guy who can save us and bring back the Spurrier." You don't know what's going to happen with Mississippi, and you get them at home. I get it. It's one thing if you're going to Oxford, but you get them at home. That should help. And again, they'll probably be pretty good, but are they going to be national title contender good? I don't think so. I get it. Alabama's going to be really strong. I expect LSU to be really, but LSU will be also breaking in a new quarterback, to my knowledge. Jaden Daniels is back this year, and then will be gone, I believe, in 2024. So LSU's breaking in a new quarterback. That's the other thing about this schedule. I look at it, I'm like, that's actually, for what it could have been, not all that daunting.
Yeah, and what's interesting, as I was perusing Twitter, and I don't know why Tennessee is so strong on my Twitter feed, but they are. they weren't complaining about their schedule either. And I didn't see any fan bases really saying like, oh, we got hosed on this. We got the worst schedule. Everybody seems to be pretty content. I don't know what that speaks to the parity of the conference. I'm not sure what that actually means, but me personally, I didn't see a lot of, oh man, we got the worst schedule possible. We got such a tough schedule. I think everybody's like, oh yeah, there'll be some tough games, but by and large, everybody it seemed like everybody was pretty happy with the rigor of their schedules.
Real quick, Brian weighs in on our live stream and says, who's the permanent opponent? Did that change? Yeah, no permanent opponent. This is just, as far as we know, it's a one-off schedule.
Not for 2024.
Yeah, it's a one-off schedule. It does, my guess is Kentucky is slated to be the permanent opponent, depending in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the 1-7 or the 3-6. Kentucky's going nowhere on South Carolina's schedule. They will be there. And Lord knows if it ends up being Missouri, too. That's where I'll start to get a little grizzled.
Come on, Bill.
803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Charlie wants to weigh in this morning. Charlie, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, guys. I love the show.
Thank you, man.
Couple quick comments. I'll say, I actually agree with you guys. I mean, our schedule for next year, you look at the names, it looks pretty daunting, but I was looking at everybody's schedule. There's nobody with a freaking easy schedule next year. I mean, it's just the SEC. So I get that, and I understand that some people are going to be mad that we lose Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. But, I look at it and say, wow, we still got Vanderbilt. You got Vanderbilt, you got Kentucky, which I think are winnable road games. You've got at least 2 winnable, home games as it looks on paper if we're playing them this year. So, it's a chance to go 4-4, 5-3, 6-2. You've got the schedule set up where you could do well. The non-conference is pretty easy next year. So, I like it. And then my next point is this has kind of been bugging me for a while, and I may be in the minority here, but I just want to get y'all's take on this. It seems to me that college football is the only sport that does not value strength of schedule, who you play, where you play, those type of things when it comes to rankings and stuff like that. And the reason I say that is 6-6 in the SEC is not the same thing as 9-3 in the ACC. But an ACC team that goes 9-3 or 8-4 is going to be ranked in the top 25 no matter who they play. But if you flip that around to baseball, or if you flip that around to football, even women's college basketball, if you don't play a tough schedule, you get penalized. You don't get ranked. But in college football, you do. I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, thank you for the phone call, Charlie. I think some of it's just based on how we choose a champion in college football. Like, generally speaking, bowls are such an odd thing. Bowls are such an odd thing to go play what is an exhibition game. And then you get into the debate of, well, did that bowl mean something or was it useless? And, you see players opting out. Generally speaking, we know the top 2 teams and most of the time the top 4. Yes, there was an upset this year. So we ended up with TCU. But, the general feeling is we were on a collision course for Ohio State and Georgia. That appeared to be where we were heading. And then you ended up getting them in the semifinal game and not the national championship game. But it appeared to be that was the direction we were heading until Michigan thumped Ohio State and kind of changed the course of everything. So I guess that's how I look at it, is when you start talking outside of 5, 6, 7, 8, wherever, it's kind of all, obviously there's importance in terms of recruiting and prestige. Let's hit a break. We'll come back to that question. And then I got to tell you about where $1.4 million went yesterday, and get Preston's take on memorabilia that you can purchase. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. He's Preston Thorne. It is the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the Garnet Trust Hour, new Gamecocks guard forward Miles Stute will be in studio with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell.
Your home of the the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know, one of the reasons we all live here in South Carolina is the weather, right? We love being outside as often as we can. And these days, Integrated Media is enhancing that life by installing amazing outdoor home theater systems that give you the best of both worlds. Amazing picture and sound from equipment built to be outside. From completely weatherproof SunBright TVs to Sonos soundbars or in-ground speakers and subwoofers, Integrated Media can completely change how you and your family enjoy time on the deck, patio, or around the pool. Call 803-948-8327. Let Integrated Media come out to your house, see exactly what they can do for you when it comes to an outdoor system. And when you couple it with Integrated Media's professional-grade Wi-Fi, you won't believe the home theater experience is just as good outside. Check out some of their work on Facebook and Instagram. Then call 803-948-8327. Home theater, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, home security, and much more. Do it all better with Integrated Media.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet, or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837 and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
AAA Heating and Air is looking for dedicated applicants to fill their fast-growing service department with top-notch HVAC technicians. If you're the best, then they want you, and benefits include top industry salaries, commission on service and unit sales, health, dental, and vision benefits, and a 401k retirement plan. Plus, AAA Heating and Air provides a take-home vehicle and gas card, a cell phone, and a tablet. Check out their job postings on Facebook or ZipRecruiter.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Stephon Diggs was on the practice field for day 2 of mandatory minicamp after missing Tuesday's session, a situation that Bills head coach Sean McDermott initially called very concerning. McDermott clarified the situation and said Diggs was excused from practice on day 1. He said he gave Diggs some space and let him leave after some conversations the two had. He went on to say that they're in a great spot now. While contract extension talks between the Chargers and Justin Herbert are being described as ongoing, Herbert was asked if he'd consider a hold-in situation where he would report to training camp without practicing. Herbert said, quote, "It's something that we'll address when the time comes, but I guess we'll see." And as Travis Kelce enters his 11th season, he was asked how long he plans to play. Kelce says he plans to play until the wheels fall off. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail, the ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here at Total Wine & More, our amazing selection means you'll always
love what you find.
Dad, what are you doing here?
Just getting a sneak peek at my Father's Day gifts.
Well, I was thinking of getting you this Barrel Select bourbon.
That's a really nice bottle.
And Total Wine has it at the totally lowest price.
Wow, you always were my favorite.
Thanks, Dad.
Talking to the bourbon, sweetie.
Find what you love what you find. Like the perfect gift for Dad at the perfect price. Only at Total Wine & More.
And drink responsibly. B21.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
No accidents to report right now. Disabled vehicle I-126 westbound at Greystone Boulevard. Also, Faro Road at Pisgah Church Road. So might slow things down just a little bit. But aside from that, weather should be good. 86 will be our high today. Maybe a couple pop-up storms. Tomorrow, dry, hot, 91. 89, mostly sunny for Saturday. Right now, 71 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
6:40 on a Thursday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. As we get you up and get you going, U.S. Open gets going today out in Los Angeles. Obviously, it's not going usually. Usually right now would be about close to the first tee time. Well, they're not going to tee off at 3:40 a.m. in Los Angeles, so it's still about 3-4 hours away. But we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the show. I've got an interview with Shane Beamer that he did on CBS Sports Radio that we'll play here. It's about 12 minutes coming on later in the program, and we'll talk more on the scheduling. But I did want to bring this up because I always find this very interesting. This kind of thing I always tend to find interesting. Let's start with this question. How do you feel, Preston, on memorabilia? Like, I'm not an autographs guy. And I think I may have been slightly ahead of my time when I wanted to early on, probably 2000s or whatever, when I was in college, maybe a little bit before, pictures. Like, to prove to, hey, I met so-and-so, here's a picture of me. And I was never been a big autograph guy because I learned about forgery very early in my life and was like, oh, I could easily take a baseball right now and sign, Greg Maddox's name. We busted a kid like in 4th or 5th grade who just constantly showed up with baseballs to elementary school and was like, oh, and finally, I think somebody went to his house and it was like, the story came out. Let's just put it that way. So
I love it.
I learned early on that the forgery of baseball, signing a baseball card. So I was like, that doesn't matter. Pictures became more. So I may have been a little ahead of my time, but I've never really gotten into like wanting items, like game worn jerseys that you see framed. I find it cool. So when I see someone pay basically $1.4 million, I'm like, So let me ask you before I tell you what was paid for. Where do you stand on memorabilia in your house?
I'm cool with it. It's not. It doesn't really go with the aesthetic of the house, so I'm not sure if the wife would approve of it. So that's not going to work. But I'm fine with it. I like it for if it has like an intrinsic value to you. If it's something that's really special to you, whether you're really into this part of history or you're really a fan of that team. I'm not really into it where it's just, oh, that's worth a lot of money and I want to buy it. I'm not into that because I don't really dig that. But if it's something that has a special value to you or your family or some sort of connection, I'm cool with it.
Okay, this doesn't have a connection to anybody's family.
Okay.
Yesterday, at the collectibles marketplace Golden. I'm not even familiar. This is an auction.
I'm in collectibles marketplace.
I'm not familiar with that. The Game 5 worn shoes from Michael Jordan in 1998. Game 5. Excuse me, Game 6. I'm sorry, Game 6.
That's the Brian Russell game?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It was Game 5. The 25th anniversary was yesterday of Game 6.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got this backwards on that. Game 5. You know the significance of Game 5.
That's flu game.
Technically, it's technically
with air quotes, flu game.
Flu game.
No. I mean, The Last Dance revealed it's the food poisoning game. But as people say, the food poisoning game doesn't ring quite as well. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite like the flu game.
Also, I'd like to suggest that we know what Michael was doing in his extracurricular activities, And I'm not sure how much of the food poisoning game it was either.
Okay.
But that's
he
another
had,
story.
He had a steak and maybe a lot of things to wash down the steak.
Maybe.
Well, no, they said I think it was a pizza, didn't they?
Pizza.
It was a pizza.
Pizza,
But-
which also tracks with you doing some activities, and you're just like, I got to get a pizza.
and then of course, and then by the way, if you remember the Last Dance, they were like, oh, a very suspicious looking Utah Jazz decked out Utah Jazz delivery boy showed up. Just anyway, his sneakers sold for $1.38 million from Game 5. Like, I get if you've got the money, hey, kudos to you. But I don't know what we're getting here. Like this is the kind of memorabilia I don't understand.
There's a crossroads between somebody who might be a really big basketball person. You might be an NBA person. You also might just be a sneakerhead. You know, so there's a correlation where I could see that value going up to that.
Could you?
I could see that. I mean, not for me, but
I was going to ask
I could see
if
that.
you had. I mean, again, if we're sitting, if the three of us are sitting around individually, and we have $1.5 million essentially to just spend on that, is that where it would go?
Not for me, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking. I get it. This man or woman, whomever bought it, I got it. Like clearly, you have the extra money to be like, okay, do that. But I mean, where do you put that in your house? Like, is it on like when you come because you got a big house? If you put it, you've got a very nice house. It's probably on some form of a water, and you come in, and all I can imagine is like a huge foyer, I guess, as you walk.
So
in or
this
something.
is really interesting. Shout out to my Uncle Billy. My uncle Billy, he's a scorer for the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
And prominently displayed in his house is one of Shaq's shoes when Shaq played. And it's kind of cool. It really is.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool. He didn't buy it. You know, Shaq gave it to him, and he's worked with the Orlando Magic.
Cooler.
And that makes it cooler.
I think so.
Yeah. So to that point, I could see I walked in Uncle Billy's house, and you see the shoe, and it's like, oh, that's cool. So maybe if the Jordans are there, maybe, I guess. But Jordan shoes also aren't size 24, so
True.
it doesn't look, it's not as interesting.
I've always said the stuff that I would buy if I had like a true, we would probably do the show in August when we start really getting into, especially with integrated media and everything, you know, setting up your man cave and how you get your TVs and everything. And I've always said I would buy helmets.
Helmets look cool.
There was a time back in your day, in our day, a student manager from South Carolina football lived next door, and I managed to acquire all three of the helmet, the garnet, the white, and
you got the black one.
I had the black one.
Oh wow!
That student manager moved, and I came home one day, and those three helmets that I had acquired in air quotes from his house had been repossessed.
No way.
Well, again,
it's fair.
Yeah. I don't know if I was the technical owner of the helmets. They were. It was kind of like both of ours. We just kept it at my house.
Okay.
Until he moved.
Yeah.
And then they went back to his new house.
Gotcha.
But I would collect helmets.
Helmets are cool.
If I could get like, you know, old, you know, Florida's got those old helmets that just have the F on them, and the Georgia Bulldogs have done stuff, and North Carolina. Like I that's what I would have probably displayed, kind of not the mini helmets. 803-404-6100. I'll see if you got something that would be on the collector's list, because there's one other thing I actually would kind of collect if I had the extra money to do it. Kids, if you're going somewhere this morning, let this be a lesson to you. Sports Talk Radio, not exactly the highest paying job you're going to find out there to do the collecting you want to do.
Let's just say we're not going to get the 1.5 billion from this.
Yeah, we're not pooling our money together either to do it. This isn't so. Find something much better to do. 803-404-6100 is the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
Hey, I'm Connor Shaw, former Gamecock quarterback. My friends at Molina Healthcare want to help everyone with Medicaid keep their coverage. Molina can answer your questions and help renew your Medicaid coverage. Don't risk losing it. Visit MolinaRenewYou.com/SC.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. Free Taco Bell breakfast? Yes, please. Every Tuesday in June before 11 a.m., you can get a free breakfast crunch wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla. Only for Taco Bell Rewards members and only on the app.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
O'Hara's Public House in Lexington is a warm and welcoming celebration of community, food, music, and fun. Find comfort in Irish classics like fish and chips or bangers and mash, alongside the best of regional American comfort foods and a wide selection of beer, wine, and liquor served in a warm, traditional Irish pub atmosphere. With weekly live music and all of your Irish Fair favorites, your plan at O'Hara's Public House awaits. Be sure to go right next door to O'Hara's Bakery Cafe to get all of your fresh baked cakes and pies baked using Columbia's favorite Nonna's recipes. Whether it's O'Hara's Public House or O'Hara's Bakery Cafe, your people are here, looking forward to your arrival. Looking to get the most out of your next visit to O'Hara's Public House and O'Hara's Bakery and Cafe? We've got great news.
O'Hara's Public House is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. Log on to 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $50 gift certificate to O'Hara's for just $25. Sponsored by Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives since 1922. Member FDIC.
If you think all banks are the same, come experience the difference at Security Federal Bank. Security Federal Bank has unmatched customer service and a hometown feel because we're a hometown bank. Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives. Member FDIC.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everybody, a good Thursday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update. It has been a nice calm morning around the region, a little bit of clouds, some sun mixing in. Overall weather situation pretty good with temperatures near 70 or just shy of that mark. And of course, that could help to equate to more of this calmer situation where there are no confirmed collisions out there, nothing with big traffic backups. But as we get further into the morning, we'll make sure to keep checking in for you and give you any updates needed. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
you're just moved into the area and you're getting to know Columbia, one of the things you'll learn quickly about is that it is famously hot. And that's something that, of course, the city kind of likes to go by. And they go by it because it gets incredibly hot around here. You want to make sure your heating and air unit, specifically the air conditioning portion, is working properly. Make sure you call AAA Heating and Air today. I'm just looking at the weather. 90 degrees tomorrow, 88 on Saturday, 92 on Sunday. It's going to be warm around here. And if your air goes out, you're going to be miserable. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Get them out to your house for a $69 maintenance package. Have them look at it. Here's the best part. If there is something that needs to be repaired and you approve it, AAA Heating and Air will waive the maintenance fee. That's right. Then they'll take care of the repairs for you. So call AAA Heating and Air today and set up a maintenance visit, 803-677-1500. Get them out to your house. Let them look at everything. Make sure it's working properly. Hey, if it's working properly, you'll have peace of mind, and it'll only cost you $69. That's well worth it. If something needs to be fixed and you approve it, AAA Heating and Air will waive that $69 fee, and they'll help you get that specific thing fixed. So call AAA Heating and Air. Maybe you need a brand new heating and air unit. They've done that for several of us here around the station, and I'm telling you what, my heating and air unit is working absolutely fantastic. Trust me, I went home yesterday. Kids, home for the summer, cut the air conditioner way down. I was very thrilled with that. House felt like an ice box. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. So do you got something you have collected besides baseball? Did you ever get into the baseball cards?
I did get into baseball
Did
cards.
you?
Yeah, I'm a 90s child. Beckett magazine, trading cards. Yeah, I was definitely into it.
Am I wrong on this? Because I got into baseball cards too, that collecting baseball cards was far more popular than football and basketball.
Absolutely.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. Maybe just the tradition of it, but it felt very off-brandish if you would have like,
Yeah.
I got these basketball cards here. They were fine, but it wasn't like baseball cards.
Baseball cards were something, and I don't know. I mean, I don't even remember really ever opening packs of basketball or football cards that had gum in it. Like there was the old Tops. Like you want to go down a path of just nostalgia and what it was like Tops and Don Russ and Fleer and.
Yep. So you could get Tops, Don Russ, Flair, and then
Upper Deck,
if you had some money, you could get Upper Deck. That's what they had, a glossy finish on it. It was like, ooh, these cost $1.25 a pack or something like that.
I mean, there was Saturday spent going to baseball card shops, or if they had the baseball card shows.
So dorky. Yes.
But I feel like everybody did it. I don't know what happened to baseball cards these days. I don't. They
tried to make a. There was a little bit of a resurgence in it as far as collectibles were concerned. I think once our generation got to our age and maybe have a little bit of disposable income, they're like, oh yeah, I'll get back into that. But you don't see your Austin out there with it's not happening for them. They tried to do it with NBA Top Shot, making it some sort of NFT or some silly thing like that.
Didn't Patrick get involved?
He did get involved in that,
and Patrick's generation seems like the right generation for that because they understand those things. Somebody was trying to explain the NFT. They're like, it's a video, but it's yours, but it's off the internet. So I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, collectibles kind of made a little bit of a comeback, but it's very, very niche market. Whereas I guess when we were growing up, it was more of a general widespread thing.
Baseball cards, that was really, again, I don't know, somewhere between 7 and 13, I guess, that kind of time frame.
That's right.
That I was really into it. Again, we'd go to the baseball card shows. You know, you look and you'd be like, oh, baseball card show coming to the ballroom of like the Holiday Inn right down here is a sketchy Holiday Inn.
Nerd.
100%.
You know what? Yeah, but I think I really feel like everybody was doing it. I'll read you some of these memorabilia things. Chris sends in a really cool one here of Miami Hurricanes, the little mini helmets, and he's got them all signed. Again, I've never been big into signatures.
There's a place for it. I get it.
But
I have an Indy card that has a bunch of signatures on it.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
An actual Indy car? Because it wouldn't shock me if in your garage you had taken an Indy car. I felt like it was a minor victory for Preston and I to get you out of Darlington without you taking the pace car.
Thought it was at least going to be a gas cap or something.
Yeah, it could have been fun.
She did take a wrench from somebody, I think. We'll discuss that and turn her in hour number 2. It's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Tony Annan, head men's soccer coach at the University of South Carolina. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's hottest summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZerustColumbia.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
South Carolina weather can be a little crazy. Make sure your biggest investment is protected. Call the guys in the powder blue trucks, the Guttermen. They've been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 40 years. Call the Guttermen today at 791-7147. That's 791-7147.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the Guttermen.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
And we're happy to have been voted Lexington's best glass store for 13 years in a row.
Many drivers are unaware that your cracked windshields can be replaced, usually at absolutely no cost to you.
If all the high-end car dealerships in town can trust us to do their glass needs, so can you.
We service the Midlands both at our shop in Lexington, but we are also happy to come to you at home or work.
Find us online at absoluteglassinc.com.
And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
OMG! New Jeeps, $10,000 off.
Gotta go to Galliano.
It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade toward the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
Gotta go to Galliano.
Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 month lease, $49.99 due at signing. Plus tax and tag and closing fee. No security deposit. Regular trade equity financing and new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, winner of the annual Mark of Excellence Award for best-in-class customer experience, and home to the Silverado, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
Eli the Golden Eagle hatched out of his papier-mâché egg on November 17th, 1993, before the start of an exhibition basketball game. Exhibition.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
Game.
Exhibition.
I
got it the first time.
Wow.
I appreciate Preston so much.
Wow.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
This baseball card conversation, I'm kind of intrigued by, because I was telling Preston off air, just like I don't know if the baseball card conversation or the baseball card collectibles was cool. And I said I don't know if cool is the right word, but you get like if it was really in style, say in like the late 80s, kind of the early mid. I feel like as I was doing it, and I don't know if it's because I was doing it, I was heavily into it, that I feel like it was a big deal. But like, you go out of your way to get the Beckett magazine,
100.
the monthly Beckett magazine.
Absolutely.
You'd get the cards. It was just, and I don't know. This is where I start to really feel old. You know, again, you'd get I think it was Tops, right? Was it Tops that you opened? And it had that stale piece of pink bubble gum in the back.
Yes.
And I don't know. I told Preston and Jen off air, I was like, back, 30 years ago, I could have told you, I could have driven myself to, there was 3 baseball card shops. There was one on St. Andrews. There was one on US 1 that I knew about kind of in a little shopping area. And then there was another in Lexington. I could have gotten myself there on my bicycle or whatever. Today, if somebody walked in the studio right now and said, hey, I'll give you $100 to take me to the nearest baseball card shop, I'd be like, oh, sorry.
Okay, Sheldon.
Well, that's comic book stores. I don't even know if
it's
where
just
those.
that collectible thing.
Yeah, I don't, but I wouldn't know. Just in passing, I wouldn't know where a baseball card store was right now.
No, not me either. That's definitely not something I do. I do know, like growing up in Somerville, I know the place where there was a baseball card shop is not that anymore.
Yeah,
it's still a retail space, but it's something different in that space.
803-404-6100. Just kind of an interesting, a little bit of nostalgia there as you go back down that path. We'll get back into that because I do want to ask you, okay, what do you collect? And I'm going to also ask you a question off of our Firehouse Subs text line that somebody brought up earlier about a must-have in a man cave. Must-have.
Okay.
A must-have. And I'll get to that as well. But we were talking earlier in the program, obviously last night, the SEC announces their the opponents. We got the home and away, which I think surprised you.
That surprised me. I didn't think that we was going to get that.
The home and away for 2024. And if you were tuning in at 7 o'clock this morning thinking that, Bill's going to go on a rant about Missouri and be all fired up, no, you're a little wrong. I'm pretty happy with this schedule. I'm pretty pleased with what we have going on here for the 2024 schedule. We get LSU here in Columbia. Hadn't seen them in a long time. We get Mississippi here in Columbia. Hadn't seen them since 2009. I'm excited about, I think yesterday, by the way, a bunch of people said fly into Oklahoma City and that Norman is about 30 minutes outside of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's the weird part about geography. When you get to the middle of the country, it's like, I don't.
It's all one big field to me.
All the square states, I don't know.
It's one big field, and everything I relate back to is from the movie Twister.
Helen Hunt
running around, tying herself to a pole and being in the middle of a tornado there at the very end. But
that was Kansas.
See,
are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I think you're wrong on that. I'm gonna we really got to get this wheel of misfortune going again here on small bets like this.
All squares.
We gotta really, probably next week. Next week we've got to, because we're only gonna be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But next week we really got to get in here and you got to pay off some walking. We'll send you with a Comrex. I've got to get back there and do that. And we really have got to get this wheel of misfortune going back over here on something like that. But I'm gonna go. I think they were in Oklahoma, Jen. You look at it.
Yeah, I guess. But I was thinking Waukita was, but you know what? Maybe I was thinking Kansas because it sounds like kind of like a Wichita. So, but yeah, I do see on an Oklahoma farm, Joe and her parents take shelter. So yeah, it was Oklahoma.
There you go.
Bill knows his early 90s
the very few things that he knows.
A tornado research device during a severe outbreak in Oklahoma.
I don't know much, but I do know. I do know the.
This is going back to again the great Bill Paxson and Helen Hunt running around Oklahoma trying to.
Waukita, Osage County, Guthrie, and Maysville, all in Oklahoma. So there you go. Awesome.
There you go, Tom. Tom on top.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know how to get. I wouldn't know. So is that's the pro tip flying to Oklahoma City? And
that's
what
everybody told us yesterday when because I think I brought up like, hey, I don't even know how to get to Norman. Is it like Texas A&M where you fly into Houston and basically drive up to Bryan or College Station, however you want to look at it? But I'm excited about it. That to me, if the SEC follows through on what they're saying, where you're going to see every team once every 4 years, essentially. You're going to have 2 years off, and then you're going to have 2 years on, and in that 2 year zone, a home and away in some way, shape, or form. If you're going to see a team every 4 years, so essentially about every, you're going to have an away trip to Norman once every 4 years, giving you more opportunities to go. then maybe it's not as big a deal to go knowing you not know. Like I did the math on this the other day, and I was actually surprised that I've done this. Although I went to a lot of away football games. There was a stretch where actually I only missed an Arkansas game over like a 3-year period.
Arkansas
like
is far.
Yeah. It was not. This was college days, and
That's
this was paying for a plane ticket was a little much. So we drove everywhere. We drove to LSU. We drove to Starkville. We just didn't make the drive to Arkansas. But I went to a lot of places. But I feel like today that's part of it is going and experiencing. We went to College Station a couple years ago. It's not going to get thumped. It was bad. That was like the game where I think Muschamp trotted out somebody in the final minutes to kick a field goal just to not be shut out or something. It was that stupid year.
Yes.
But it was really cool seeing College Station and the fans and the tailgating and atmosphere. And I would encourage anybody to go. I think it's one of the best atmospheres. The stadium's really neat. It's huge. And to me, it seems more modern than other stadiums in the SEC.
And I remember Langston saying, aside from them being just a tad bit quirky,
the
people were very pleasant in Texas A&M, like just overwhelmingly pleasant.
People were awesome.
Yeah.
It really was completely different than going to Georgia. Completely different.
Noted.
But I'm excited about that road trip next year, and I don't know if I'll go. I actually would probably like to take my son Austin and go out there and go check it out and figure all that. But I'm excited about the schedule. And as we said earlier, the other thing is, I think it's pretty fair. I think it's a pretty reasonable schedule. Alabama's going to be good, but Alabama's always going to be good with Nick Saban. LSU is going to be good with Brian Kelly. I don't know what Oklahoma's going to be. I don't know what Oklahoma's going to be in 2 years. I don't know what Texas A&M is going to be in 2 years.
That's my wild card.
South Carolina shouldn't be losing 4 straight to Missouri to begin with. It shouldn't.
The longest streak in the Mayor's Cup.
Yes, the Mayor's Cup. I don't know. Kentucky, South Carolina shouldn't lose 7 out of 8 to Kentucky.
Absolutely
That's a winnable game. Mississippi and Columbia. So I like that we're seeing some different teams in LSU, Oklahoma, and Mississippi. I like that they kept the Kentucky game. I like that we have our trip to Nashville for a honky-tonk weekend with a football game mixed in and what basically becomes a home stadium for South Carolina. To me, South Carolina got a great schedule in 2024.
How many SEC fan bases are celebrating that trip to Nashville? I don't know.
4.
So if there's 4 teams that are like, yes, not only do we get to go to Nashville, very high probability that we get a win also.
Alabama fans are thrilled.
Uh-huh.
South Carolina fans are thrilled.
Yep.
Tennessee fans, it's
That's
a little, yeah.
That's a rivalry.
And Texas fans are like, yeah.
That's why we joined the SEC.
Yes.
We're going to Nashville, baby.
That's right. And then Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, and Missouri. Like, really? You're sending us Vanderbilt? It's no good. So I think we both agree, though, the schedule for South Carolina last night, who knows? We don't know what South Carolina is going to look like.
We don't. And yeah, it's projected. A year from now, especially with the changing nature of college sports, how things rapidly change, who knows what the landscape will look like in 2024, but we're pretty sure that the SEC will still be the dominant conference.
And somebody else brought up on our and here's the other thing about this, because somebody brought this up and said South Carolina should be ashamed of themselves. But it's part of college football, and I really don't have a problem with it. The non-conference portion of the schedule for South Carolina next year, it is yucky. You got Clemson, but Old Dominion, Akron, and Wofford. I got it. And that was the other part about give me some really good home games, because if I'm going to have to sit through those 3.
No, there's not an excuse, but I don't know when the games were scheduled. Old Dominion was very good for a while for their level.
They have beaten. I think I'll have to go back and look. They did beat Virginia Tech.
They were a solid team for their level. So I don't know when the games were scheduled. I don't think they're on the same level as they were now. But yeah, those games are probably not the games, but they all serve a purpose. As we've said, those might be the games where you want to bring your whole family. Maybe there's not as much tension in the stadium. It's more of a relaxed atmosphere. You get to come and enjoy a game. It's not 1,000% competition on the edge of your seat, but it's still an outing in an event. So it serves its purpose.
I'm gonna have to read this. It's not good to try and read an article during the show. I lose focus. But this is the time of year where we get these articles. Chris Lowe, who I really like as an ESPN writer, put out an article yesterday, an inside look at Nick Saban's youth football camp. Something is telling me Nick Saban's not out there handing out cups of water and orange peels, that young kids are getting just destroyed.
Son, you're just not good enough.
You call that backpedaling?
Ages 8 to 13. I'll have to read this article
Bring
later
me
today.
You'll never make it to the 9-year-old field.
Bring me an oatmeal cream pie. All right, come on. That's the admission. You don't have to pay anything. Just give me the oatmeal cream pie.
It says, but on this day, they're all getting, it says, most are under 5 feet tall, and the majority won't play Division I football. Ages 8 to 13 have all signed up. And on this day, they're getting the full Nick Saban experience.
Love it. I get to see Nick throwing his hat down. Come on.
I bet he is Mr. We've talked about this before. I think, honestly, at home, he's the docile husband. Yes, dear, whatever you need, dear. I think it's all the aggression out on the field and stuff like that. But when it comes to kids and women, I bet he's just like little marshmallow.
100%.
Yeah.
I think he definitely falls in that category.
It's hard. The more I hear Saban talk and just watch, it's hard.
You
for
like
me.
the guy, don't you?
I like him.
I do too.
I like him.
I do too. And you want to make him the evil emperor of college football, but I just can't go there because when I listen to him talk, see him dress, I'm like, man, this guy looks like a cool dude.
I will admit, just when I go to SEC media days, there's certain people just like to kind of stand around just hear, not like, and I'll kind of wiggle up kind of just to hear, because I like hearing like just random conversation that he'll have with a police officer or with someone he knows there and kind of get around them. And you're right. So
I get a sense of really kind of who he is, besides
when a mic is not in front of him. Yes.
As much as, because everything lines up where he should be the guy that we all dislike, and I just can't get there. I'm like, oh, all right, Nick. Seems like that's the guy.
We'll get into that. A bunch of text messages have come in on a bunch of different topics. I'll read all these to you when we come back. Johnny, Marshall, Gene, Robert, all weighing in. We'll get to James. We'll all get to these and just bounce back and forth with some topics as we roll along here. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. Las Vegas and Serbia are suddenly capitals of the sports world. The Vegas Golden Knights and the WNBA Aces rule Sin City, while a pair of Serbian jokers are running wild. It would be, of course, Novak Djokovic and Nikola Jokic. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio. It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Lowe's knows the best deals for dad. Hurry to shop our best Father's Day gifts from the brands he loves for less. Keep Dad's lawn looking sharp and save $100 on Cobalt's 24-volt self-propelled lawnmower. Plus, get 2 Bonnie 2.32 quart vegetables and herbs for just $10. Shop the final days of Father's Day deals now. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/18. Bonnie in-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB. 800-391-5063 for your free consultation and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
Sponsored by Colonel Seasons. Available at Publix.
Colonel Seasons adds interesting to popcorn and a second-grade chorus recital.
Don't put kettle corn seasoning on your teachers. Put it on popcorn. And be a good citizen.
Colonel Seasons. Just add interesting.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
Hello, friends. This is Bill McDaniels. You know,
I've always wanted a truck franchise, and now we have the very best. Gibbs Ford is now McDaniels Ford, and we're celebrating our grand opening in Orangeburg. Rest assured, our 34-year auto group brings the know-how and the customer care to the renowned Ford SUV and truck lines. Best of all, with no additional dealer markup. Come experience the McDaniels difference at McDaniels Ford in Orangeburg, 2840 St. Matthews Road, exit 145.
It's the grand opening of Dave's Hot Chicken. Try the best hot chicken in South Carolina. Dave's Hot Chicken. Located at 4601 Divine Street, right next to Moe's. Game Time with Heath Klein will be broadcasting live from Dave's Hot Chicken on Friday, June 16th from 3 to 6 p.m. We'll be giving away Carolina football tickets. Yep, Carolina football tickets for the upcoming season. You don't want to miss out. Dave's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in South Carolina. Grand opening on June 16th.
AAA Heating and Air is looking for dedicated applicants to fill their fast-growing service department with top-notch HVAC technicians. If you're the best, then they want you, and benefits include top industry salaries, commission on service and unit sales, health, dental, and vision benefits, and a 401k retirement plan. Plus, AAA Heating and Air provides a take-home vehicle and gas card, a cell phone, and a tablet. Check out their job postings on Facebook or ZipRecruiter.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
The boys of summer are playing on the Believe podcasts.
And when you only have one arm that's really performing well,
get your baseball fix from podcasts like Wake and Rake, Farm to Show, and Ring the Bell.
And when I talk about Ohtani, you don't understand the stuff that he's doing right now.
Plus local podcasts like Believe in Astros and Believe in the Bronx. Just search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Do have a report of an accident, I-20 westbound at Two Notch Road. Aside from that, things moving along fairly well for your Thursday morning. 71 right now, and we're looking for a high today of 86, 91 on Friday, and 89 on Saturday.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in. Cullen on our live stream. Dad's Dugout. If you know, you know. I think that one, Cullen, I think that was the one over off of St. Andrews. That was the card shop there. RL on our live stream says, I like the 2024 SEC football schedule. SEC decided opponents based on two primary factors: traditional opponents and balance of overall strength of schedule. This is a stopgap 8-game schedule just for 24 as the SEC debates whether to go to 9 games. That's the other part of it is, we'll see more. Again, to me, what they did with this schedule was basically tease ESPN, ABC, Disney, whomever, however you want to look at that, and say, look, we got a lot of great inventory. You like this Florida-Texas game? You like Georgia-Texas? You like Oklahoma-Alabama? Well, we can give you some more of this. We'll sprinkle some of this in, or we can do it ourselves with an 8-game schedule.
Yeah,
we know how to make it work.
And to bring up Charlie's point earlier from the call-in line, an 8-game SEC schedule is equivalent to the other conferences' 9 or 10-game schedule because who are they playing?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, certainly. Look, it's still going to be a difficult schedule.
Yes,
you're going to have to go ready to play. So we'll find out. One thing you always do when you stay home, though, you get a nice man cave. You watch your games in there. give you this. Brian weighs in on our live stream and says, in my man cave, I have autographed helmets from Ben Roethlisberger, Micah Parsons, and Jack Ham. I also have a signed mini helmet from Nick Chubb. I have a framed autographed jersey from Deebo Samuels, Amari Cooper, Joe Montana's Notre Dame jersey, Steelers John Stallworth, Tony Dorsett Pitt Panther jersey, and a Georgia Hines Ward. And then he says, yeah, I have a problem.
At least you admit it and you're comfortable. You know where you are. I'm sure your significant other says, all right, keep all that out there. Put it in there, and it's fine. Everybody works just fine. I was listening for a through line for the memorabilia. There has to be something. Maybe it's just your favorite, but I didn't see
a connection.
A connection between those.
Sounds like just stuff that he's
just stuff that I'm into.
Come across. Cool. William on our Firehouse Subs text line says framed jerseys in the man cave is a must.
Here's the deal, though, and if you're in the framing business, shout out to you. But framing is, it's not cheap.
No,
I think that was a big surprise. I was like, how much?
I know. I'm trying to find a way because we have a Rizzo jersey, from when the
Anthony Rizzo,
when the Cubs, Anthony Rizzo, when the Cubs won the World Series. So I have one of those that has the patch on it for Trent, and it's like, how can I do this? How can I put it in a shadow box or somehow instead of spending what it would take?
Yeah.
I mean, you want it done right, but dang, you're right.
It's that part of the summer where your mind starts to wander a little bit when she said Rizzo for some reason, and because of the bumper music we had.
Did you think Grease?
I thought you said like the RZA.
Oh,
like with Wu Tang. I was like, in my mind, I was like, Wu Tang jersey. What?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I'm an interesting character. You never know.
I was just like, and then I was like, oh yeah, Anthony Rizzo. That makes a lot more sense than where I was going. Let me tell you about my friends at Old Timey Meat Market. Father's Day is this coming weekend, and you know what? The best way to celebrate with father, grilling out or with just fixing a great meal. And if you're looking for great cuts of steak, maybe poultry, you got some beef, maybe some salmon. I got some nice salmon that we plan on smoking on Sunday and hanging out and relaxing. Old Timey Meat Market is your one-stop shop. Let me tell you what, they treat you like a family member. From the time you come in, they're going to know your name. They get to know you. They know the cuts of meat you like. They know what you like. Old Timey Meat Market's 3 locations are where you need to visit today, tomorrow, or Saturday before Father's Day, so you are ready to have a great Father's Day meal. St. Andrews, Congaree, or in Lexington, where you'll find me. They don't have just great cuts of meat. They have a lot of great other food you can choose from vegetables to biscuits. I'll tell you what, I've got to go by today actually and pick up some nice Southern biscuits that you can pop in the oven and have on a breakfast, a nice big breakfast on Sunday morning. Old Timey Meat Market, exactly how you would expect it to be. Low prices, great cuts of meat, and again, friendly service. That's the way Old Timey Meat Market has done it. And again, you can go visit their 3 locations, Lexington, South Congaree, or St. Andrews. You will not be disappointed. Let me make a little suggestion for you. You want a great little meal? Go get their Italian chicken skewers. Absolutely fantastic. Tons. Trust me, you can't eat it all. I promise. I've tried. The kids and I. Old Timey Meat Market. Visit them today and tell them Bill Gunner sent you. 803-404-6100. Let me read you some of these here and get your hot takes here on some of these. So, Steve, I said the helmets earlier. Steve says Notre Dame helmet, the gold ones. Of course, there's like I guess they do have multiple helmets now, but the helmets thing is where I would go again with trying to have a collectible item.
Yeah, that's iconic. You need to have that. And like I said, I was just excited to see South Carolina playing Notre Dame in the
that was fun
game. That was cool.
I agree with you. Johnny weighs in. He says, I collected baseball cards at Hank Aaron memorabilia. I have one card that is 123 years old.
Wow.
So not a bad. That's got to be something pretty solid. Robert weighs in and says, I went to a Dolphins Saints preseason game at Williams-Brice the day before or after the team went to the Carolina Coliseum to sign autographs. I got some cards signed there. He thinks it was about 89 or 90. So
cool.
Yeah, pretty good there. Let's see here. A few more here as we kind of roll through. Gene weighs in and says, I'd like to see us beat the Dork, so I'm okay with Missouri.
There we go. Mayor's Cup, October 23rd. This is the big year. It's my game. I have it circled on the calendar. Join in to beat the Dork.
What is it? What is it again?
Now, what?
What is the date of that?
October 23rd.
No, I think that's a Monday. That's the Monday you're coming in to celebrate it, and I think it's October 21st.
Sounds good.
Okay, just it's in October, and you know that he's coming to town. Anonymous texter says Texas could potentially have 3 game day weekends in 2024. Texas does play Michigan in the non-conference, and then obviously Oklahoma, the Red River game, and potentially Georgia, depending on their record that season. You are seeing the non-conference schedules ramp up. I mean, I know we'll talk more next summer or whatever about South Carolina's non-conference in 2024. But again, Gamecocks have Virginia Tech and Atlanta in 2025. They got the games with Miami in 2026, 2027, North Carolina State, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech, already games we know that are lined up for the next about 10 years here. Marshall weighs in. He says, I'm assuming Wofford still runs a lot of triple option. Maybe I'm wrong. Why on earth would anybody nowadays schedule a triple option team? I don't care if it's a high school one. I don't think they run. I think they.
No, they're out of that. They're out of that. But to your point, yes, you do not want to schedule a team that runs that godforsaken offense.
Yeah, James read the article that I was talking about with Nick Saban. His favorite quote, Nick Saban's quote of the interview: "I'm not here to babysit." 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning. As we've discussed memorabilia, we've discussed scheduling. I'm going to let you listen to actually a little bit of Shane Beamer's interview yesterday with CBS Sports, but you got to get out of here. Last day
we're running up the road one more time, and we'll be back in full all day tomorrow.
Is there some point where maybe we can go to one of these? I'd love to see you guys in action.
We can arrange that when we hopefully we'll have some more local ones in the fall, and we can get that done.
I think that would be fantastic.
Let's get that done.
I would love that.
Okay, I'm sure.
Okay, you can stay here, Bill. I don't care, but I want to go.
We'll get it done.
Well, I think there's some logistics with doing the radio show.
Yeah. But you can come to the later shows if it's local. You can once you get off the air. Let's make that happen.
Okay.
803-404-6100. We will make that happen. We'll see you back tomorrow. Chris Deering in with us. We're going to have a bit more of a serious conversation there as it pertains to the charter schools and the 2 and the 3A. Lou Bijak writing an article within the last 2 to 3 days. I saw it on Yahoo News, but I believe it was in the state paper. So that'll be tomorrow. But Preston, be safe today.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back. We've got some Shane Beamer audio, and we'll get into a little bit more of the scheduling. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com
Or by downloading our 107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Hey, before I get out of here, let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
79 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
The Sportsman's Warehouse Father's Day sale is going on now, and you'll find everything you need for outdoor summer fun and great gifts for Dad. Right now, you can save 20 to 35% on everything from tents and lanterns to camp chairs and coolers. And it's Benchmade Days. Get a $10 gift card with every $100 you spend on Benchmade knives. So gear up for unforgettable during the Father's Day sale at Sportsman's Warehouse.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits, like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Kia has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance a new Kia at 0% APR at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. And any trade goes. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you've got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved for a new Kia with 0% APR financing. Summer sales event at Galliana Kia on Greystone, I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Rio stock number 3K1127 plus tax and tax includes $225 closing fee. To qualified buyers, $41.66 per month per $1,000 borrowed for 24 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Dealer rebates up to $400 per month till September. Negative trade equity financed in new loans subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine, expires month end.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
If you've seen them, you need to call me. Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. If you're seeing weeds in your yard, let Midlands Landscape help you get rid of them. When you sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program, our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds, ensuring that your lawn will be green and lush. So give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today at hateweeds.com. That's hateweeds.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everybody, a good Thursday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update. It has been a nice calm morning around the region, a little bit of clouds, some sun mixing in. Overall weather situation pretty good with temperatures near 70 or just shy of that mark. And of course, that could help to equate to more of this calmer situation where there are no confirmed collisions out there, nothing with big traffic backups. But as we get further into the morning, we'll make sure to keep checking in for you and give you any updates needed. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
(803-404-6100). That's how you can weigh in this morning if you want to do so. Austin asks on our text line here on our Firehouse text. Not my Austin. No, he's probably fully immersed in PS5 right now. He does ask, how is the SEC championship game working in 2024? It doesn't seem like we really have divisions. Yeah, no divisions. But what they'll do is they'll take the two highest teams. And I think that's part of why you see some of the scheduling taking place. Georgia, Alabama. You got, again, Florida. You've kept the Florida games in there. But, again, you've got Florida, LSU. You got Florida and Texas. You got Georgia and Texas. You got Alabama and Oklahoma. The teams that you would typically consider to be up there. I think that's why you've kept some of those games. Obviously, Tennessee has got Georgia. They got a road trip to Oklahoma as well. Tennessee's got Alabama. So I think you're going to be able to kind of sort out if you have, say, three teams at 7-1. If you got an 8-0 team, and then you're taking the next best team, I would assume. I'm just going to guess that you're going to have a little bit of a tie up there with, like, say, 2 7-1 teams or 3 6-2 teams. That's going to be kind of the interesting part. And I'm sure they'll have the tiebreakers for all of that, but that's how they'll do it. They'll take the top 2 teams, and maybe the tiebreaker just is as simple as the top 2 teams per the college football playoff ranking. That could very well be it as well. So that's how they will do the SEC championship game. And this is a conversation for a later date as we get more information on the college football playoff and the expansion. I think you're going to realistically ask, is playing in the SEC championship what it used to be? If you're going to the college football playoff, I mean, let's be honest, if you're qualifying for the SEC championship or the ACC championship, I think the SEC championship more so, but if you're qualifying for it, you're probably already in the college football playoff. You're going to be in one of the top 12 spots. Do you want to play an extra game before you go to the college football playoff? Losing could conceivably knock you out, depending on where you're at, knock you out of the college football playoff. It's hard for me to envision a team going to the SEC championship game and having to win to get into a 12-team playoff format. So I think that's one thing that you may see. I'm not going to say teams tank. You don't want to tank, but, do you take the SEC championship as serious if you know you're going to the college football playoff and you got to run, say, 2 or 3 games to win it? We'll talk more about that, obviously, as we get more details. And it's just a thought for the future and how things are going. The other thing we hadn't really discussed today very much, and mainly because they're still about 3 hours away from tea time out in Los Angeles, but the U.S. Open gets going here later on today, and you do have a really good pairing, 454 today, Rory McIlroy and Brooks Koepka. I like Koepka to win this thing again. I just, can he go back-to-back in terms of back-to-back majors? It's hard, and I still think that golf overall, especially when you get to a major like this, I think golf is in a fantastic place. I've always said it's the Tiger Woods effect. As Tiger got all these young guys into golf, and you have seen the prize money and everything kind of raised. As a matter of fact, the U.S. Open has raised the prize money to $20 million. That's tops among the majors. That's up from $2.5 million a year ago and double than what it was. So it was $10 million back in 2016 when Dustin Johnson won. So pretty cool there. But I think golf overall is in a great place, and there's a lot of really, really good golfers. So you start kind of looking around at who can win this thing this weekend. And I like Koepka. I really, really like Koepka. He is honed in. He's healthy. We've all heard the stories about how he really cares about the majors and not maybe so much about anything else, which is why even in his injured state, he was a perfect fit for LIV. But I like Koepka going in out there with his mindset, with how he just kind of grinds along throughout the tournament. Didn't have a very good start at the PGA Championship back a month ago, and then just kind of kept hanging in there. And lo and behold, there he is on Sunday. Yesterday, USC golf coach Bill McDonald joined Jay and Terry. And here's a little breakdown of what Bill McDonald had to say about the golf course, the Los Angeles Country Club. We don't really know a whole lot about this course. This is entirely different. And so here's Bill McDonald yesterday talking about the Los Angeles Country Club and how he kind of expects it to play.
A very unique place, and was one of it's definitely my top 10 of golf courses I've played. And I'm thrilled that they're having a U.S. Open. It's going to be a very different type of U.S. Open in the way it's going to play, but what a great venue for it. They have 5 par 3s total, and just for the listener, an average golf course usually has 4, right, but 2 on each 9. But they have 5 par 3s. They have the 290-yard 11th. They also have the 80-yard. They played at 80 yards 15th, which you could see some of these guys hitting up to 3-wood driver on a par 3 and then hitting a lob wedge on the shortest one. So a lot of variety there. The 6th hole. Gil Hanse redid that, and it's drivable. Apparently, from what I've read, the green has really been changed where that's going to be a fun hole to watch. I think the rough, you're not going to see the typical U.S. Open gouge it out rough. It's going to be playable somewhat. It's Bermuda rough, so the ball could sit down, but mostly, for the most part, generous fairways. I think you'll see plenty of guys hitting driver, and it might cater to the bomber a little bit if they're hitting it straight this week. But so much variety to the golf course, a lot of undulation.
So you hear that again, totally different type of setup. Obviously, this course has never hosted a U.S. Open, hosted a Walker Cup back in 2017, but it's a brand new style of course. And I don't know if you caught that. I don't know if you were listening specifically, but yes, number 11 is a 290-yard par 3. Let me repeat that again. Hole number 11, par 3, 290 yards. Number 7 is 284 yards. Now, if you play golf on a regular basis, you understand that's a long way.
par 3.
Yes. They have some extended par 3s. As a matter of fact, you open number 4, the par 3 is 228. Now, that's for a PGA Tour golfer. That's not ridiculous. But number 7, again, is 284. You get to the really short one, number 9, to wrap up the front 9. The number 9 par 3 is 171 yards. Just a pitching wedge, really.
Yeah.
Number 11, again, is 290 yards. And then you have the ridiculously short, all of a sudden, par 3 on number 15, 124 yards. So they also have a par 5 that's 623 yards. It's a long course, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. 7,400 yards total for this course, and they'll get going later on this morning out there in Los Angeles. Again, I think first tee time is scheduled for 9:45 a.m. our time, obviously 6:45 their time out there today, and it'll be rolling along. Matt Fitzpatrick, the defending champion. One other thing to keep an eye on, it's been, I will admit, maybe because it's in Los Angeles, maybe it's just by design, I'm not sure. It does feel, I thought last week that you would hear a lot more of the LIV Golf, the PIF, the PGA, all that discussion this week. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I just either haven't paid close enough attention, or maybe I'm just over it. But Dustin Johnson yesterday kind of pushing back on the theory that LIV Golf will play out the remaining 6 months of this year and then go and disappear. This is Dustin Johnson yesterday talking about the future of LIV Golf in 2024. Here's what DJ had to say. Nope, 7.
Yeah, as far as I know, LIV will go into 2024, and they're doing the schedule now. So as far as I know, that's the plan. So, I can't answer it really any further than that. I mean, I've talked to the guys, but as far as I know, it's going. 2024 is going to be. We'll have a full schedule just like we did this year.
That came from Yasser. That he told you that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no problem with LIV hanging around. I think there's a spot in golf for this team concept, and there's still a lot of speculation and rumors about how this is how we're going to run this tour and how we're going to run that tour, and this is how we're going to bring everything together. And I like the concept of making it a full-on team event and playing 54 holes and doing it a little bit different. I mean, again, you've got Johnson, whose team is the 4 Aces. You got Bryson DeChambeau, who's the Crushers. You know what? It really get it. Obviously, I've never had a problem with LIV Golf per se. It has been irrelevant because it's been hard to watch and the concepts are a little funny. But I think opening it up and having captains of teams and playing 4 or 5 team events per year, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I think there's a place for it. The LIV Golf League, where again, you make it more of a team event to go away from the individual. You got plenty of individual events. There's a lot of things that they can do with it. Wouldn't surprise me if they give it a shot for a year or two. Jay Monahan is expected to be running that. So we'll find out, according again to the policy board. It is Jay Monahan who will oversee the PGA Tour and LIV Golf under the new agreement. I hope that I'd like to see it. Give it a try. Spice it up a little bit. So 803-404-6100. That's how you can weigh in this morning. If you want to be a part of the program, you're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Life matters. I believe in the nearly unconquerable human spirit. It may be a story of survival, heroism, or amazing athletic accomplishments, but we all get chills along our spine when we hear a great story of victory against long odds. With that being said, a wise man learns that there are some situations in which victory simply isn't possible without intervention from someone else. While serving as governor of California, Ronald Reagan faced a scenario he simply couldn't get resolved. The old Gipper had nearly given up when the answer finally came to him. His advisor, Mike Deaver, asked how he got such insight, and the president replied, "Mike, for the longest time I looked in. Then I finally remembered to look up." Talk about a good idea. Maybe that's the answer to your struggle as well. God promises to meet with anyone who needs his help. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Call Christian Life or visit us on the web at ChristianLifeColumbia.com. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to CLColumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hello, friends. This is Bill McDaniels. You know, I've always wanted a truck franchise, and now we have the very best. Gibbs Ford is now McDaniels Ford, and we're celebrating our grand opening in Orangeburg. Rest assured, our 34-year auto group brings the know-how and the customer care to the renowned Ford SUV and truck lines. Best of all, with no additional dealer markup. Come experience the McDaniels difference at McDaniels Ford in Orangeburg, 2840 St. Matthews Road, exit 145.
Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's hottest summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Reporting an accident I-20 westbound before Broad River Road. The left lane currently blocked. Also have an accident Highway 6 at I-20 and I-20 westbound at Tunatch Road. We also have a report of a tie-up. Maybe a couple pop-up storms today, and certainly not a rain out. 86 for the high. Dry and hot for Friday. 91 and 89 for the high on Saturday. 70 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$7:53 on a June the 15th Thursday morning. As Preston was saying just a little while ago when we started, man, June 15th already. It is flying by, and a lot of discussion this morning about the 2024 schedule as it was released last night. But you blink when we are essentially a month away. July 17th through the 20th is SEC Media Days in Nashville. I'll be heading up on that Sunday to go up there, be at the Grand Hyatt is where we'll be at. Jay, Heath, and myself, the Wolf Pack that is the 107.5 game. Watch out, Nashville. Here comes 107.5 the game, but it will be here before you know it. And then I think we come back. I want to say there's some days there. I can't remember if Coach Beamer does his birdies with Beamer golf tournament the week after or not, but it's something like that. You'll blink. We go into the last week of July 31st through August the 3rd, and somewhere in there they'll start fall camp, and then kids go back to school. At least my kids go back to school August 9th, and we'll be fully immersed in fall camp. It's summer's zipping by. It's going to be here, what should be a really interesting season. I am interested a little bit in the next hour just to get your feelings on the 1-year hiatus for South Carolina not playing Georgia, Tennessee, or Florida in 2024. Like, do you enjoy these games a little bit more this year? Do you does it affect you that much? Yesterday, Greg McElroy was talking about South Carolina and Georgia not being scheduled in 2024. So it is interesting. It doesn't bother me, but let's let you listen real quick. Greg McElroy yesterday talking about South Carolina and Georgia not being on the schedule in 2024. Here's what Greg McElroy had to say.
Another game that was notably omitted, South Carolina and Georgia. A game that probably means a little bit more to South Carolina than Georgia, but if you think about some of the crazy results in the last 12 years, there have been several examples in which great South Carolina teams lost to Georgia teams and great Georgia teams lost to average South Carolina teams. There's been a bunch of examples of that. It's been kind of a wild rivalry. So to see that game come to an end is also disappointing. 30 years they've been playing. Last time they didn't was in 1991.
It's not being killed. It's not disappearing forever. So I don't know if I take it that way. It's not like Texas A&M, who went on, what's it been, a 12-year hiatus. It's not Nebraska, Colorado that we'll get this year that's been on hiatus. It's, I'm trying to think of other great Nebraska, Oklahoma. I mean, these were storied rivalries. It's not that. But in the next hour, we'll talk a little bit about that. How do you feel about not seeing Georgia, Tennessee, Florida? I in my schedule that I had written up, I had no problem not seeing Georgia for 1 year. Tennessee's actually the game that bothers me a little bit more. I think that has become, for South Carolina at least, a little more of a rivalry than Georgia has, especially with Georgia ascending the way they have under Kirby Smart and just looking so dominant. But 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on that. Coming up at about 8:15 this morning, I'm going to let you listen. Shane Beamer was on CBS Radio yesterday talking about building trust and culture, talking about the Dow Loggins hire, getting players to buy in, talked a little bit about the North Carolina game. We'll let you listen to the full interview in case you missed it. I don't think a lot of people caught that, so we'll let you listen to that. Hour 3 on the way. It's a Thursday morning.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Gamecock catcher Cole Messina. You're listening to the home of the Gamecocks at 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Heath here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder from First Palmetto Bank. And if building or buying a new home, you need a guru in this market. First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated here in the Midlands, and Jacob has local decision makers, which means quick and precise processing and underwriting. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call, 803-719-1005, or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
Thanks, Heath. Interest rates have stabilized. The local housing market also has stabilized. Now is a good time to buy a house. At First Palmetto, we have products that help homebuyers keep payments down. Also, if you are considering building your future home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. If I can help you, please give me a call, 803-719-1005.
So to follow up, rates in the housing market are stable, which makes now a good time to buy.
I'd say that sums it up.
Great. Call Jacob Crowder today, 803-719-1005.
My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC. And
Do you remember your first Gamecock game? Who you were with and where did you sit? Where did you tailgate? What were you wearing? The idea that all those memories can come flooding back the moment you set foot on campus is real. So this year and every year, come to campus and catch a game. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game. Get your tickets today and catch a game at any time for any sport. Online at GamecocksOnline.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet. Quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City 781-FANS. You'll be glad
Hi,
you did.
my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ekman and his law firm ended up getting us an all-firm compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ekman Law Firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ekton with the Ekton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EktonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today.
Trust, we will trust. New Silverados are on the ground now and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today. Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
I listened to the radio on the way in here, and I've just listened to him rant and rave about everything. I'm like, get in, we're going to have some serious talk today. And your first question for me is, did they have Pop-Tarts in England? I get up at 5 o'clock to come here. I mean, what are you doing to me?
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. What happened?
107.5 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100. We'll let you listen to Shane Beamer coming up in about 10 minutes as we get you through the morning, get you ready. U.S. Open Golf taking place here in about 3 hours, and I look forward to that. Should be a fun tournament this weekend. Different course, getting all the golfers back together. Should be a really good tournament. When they play a different course like this is when I really, really get invested, and I'm excited for that. And then again, we'll see what the future of the PGA is, what the future of Live Golf is, what the future of golf as a whole is, if they try to expand this into a whole other worldwide tour that is taking place. Very, very interesting time for golf. And again, I'm going, if I had to pick, and I heard Jay, I think it was Jay yesterday, took Brooks Koepka over the field is what he did. And I kind of expect Koepka to go in there and be really good and put himself in contention. Can he pull it out? There's a lot of other really good golfers in there as well. Scotty Scheffler is the betting favorite. John Rahm's second on that list, and Koepka is third if you're just going with the odds there. Scheffler plus 650, Rahm plus 800, Brooks Koepka plus 850, Victor Hovland plus 1,000, and then you got Rory McIlroy at plus 1,100. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. Should be a really fun tournament. The going out on the West Coast too, you get a little bit of prime time golf. But should be a great event out there at the Los Angeles Country Club. Again, I was reading some of the distances on those holes there. The 290-yard par 3 on number 11, the 284-yard par 3 on number 7. So, again, it'll be pretty entertaining to watch and should be a fun little event this weekend and another showcase for the PGA Tour and the U.S. Open, which I go back and forth. I love the Masters. I love how close the Masters is. Obviously, I've been there multiple times. And the Masters is a great event. U.S. Open, I'm a big fan of too. I always go back and forth which one I like more, the U.S. Open or the Open Championship. And they're both really good events, and we'll get the Open Championship next month as well. Again, 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. We've also this morning talked about the SEC schedule release that has come out yesterday for 2024. We do need to work through the 2023 schedule. We still got to play those games, but at least yesterday we got a little bit of football information that we could sink our teeth into and get kind of excited about. And I said yesterday that I was going to be very upset if South Carolina and Missouri had to face each other. But you know what? Seeing the rest of the schedule, I love it. I'm a big fan. I'm excited for 2024. I'm excited for 2023. But you look at the schedule, I haven't seen LSU in Columbia since 2008. They'll come back with Brian Kelly next year. That should be a great game, a great atmosphere. Should be a lot of fun. Bring Steven Garcia back to get the Gamecock chant going. Set up don't pull a Conor McGregor and Bernie situation, but maybe get a fake referee out there prior to the game and let Steven Garcia run through him this time.
That would be super fun.
So that this time Steven Garcia wins the battle of quarterback versus referee. Wilbur Hackett. Maybe let Wilbur Hackett come back, and
I'm sure he would be willing to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, it would be great. That should be a lot of fun. Lane Kiffin in Mississippi. I haven't seen Mississippi here since Thursday night in 2009 when the Gamecocks knocked off number 4 Mississippi here.
It's been a long time.
A lot of people say it was the birth of Sandstorm, but that was a great ball game. Haven't seen the Rebels come back. Okay, Missouri comes to Columbia, Texas A&M, but overall, very happy with that. The road games on the road in Tuscaloosa. If you've never been to Tuscaloosa, I would encourage you to go. Not a bad drive. Fun little environment. Very good football fan base to tailgate with. I've always enjoyed my trips. I went in 2000 when South Carolina lost. I can't remember which running back had a big run late in the game down the right side that kind of sealed the deal for the Crimson Tide in that game. Derek Watson was fantastic in that game, especially in the second half. Phil Petty came back from an ankle injury that he had sustained the week prior against Mississippi State and tried to lead South Carolina back. But again, the Crimson Tide back in 2000 had a big run. I was there in 2004, big game for Preston when Savell Newton was absolutely phenomenal, and South Carolina went in there and won that game in 2004. Second year, I believe, from Mike Shula. I was in Tuscaloosa in 2009 when Mark Ingram had a 246-yard rushing day and basically cemented his status as the Heisman favorite. And it's also the ball game where Steve Spurrier had a lot of confidence in Alshon Jeffrey, and the Gamecocks got down inside, I want to say to the 3 or 4 yard line, and they tried 4 different fades to Alshon Jeffrey, and it didn't work. and South Carolina lost that game 20-6. Again, Ingram just lined up in the Wildcat late in that game and ran through South Carolina. But that was the last time South Carolina was in Tuscaloosa. It was 2009. So be good to go back there. I love the opportunity to go out and see South Carolina at Oklahoma. A trip to Norman. Never been, have really no knowledge whatsoever about going to Norman or anything about the campus of Oklahoma. If I can make that flight, a lot of you told me yesterday, fly into Oklahoma City, drive up to Norman, be a fun little trip. So that's going to be great. Obviously, you'll have some storylines there with Brent Venables, assuming he's still the head coach there. Who knows after this coming season? But you'd have Brent Venables facing South Carolina. You'd have Shane Beamer going back to where he came to South Carolina from in Oklahoma. That should be a lot of fun. So you get that one. Hey, anytime you can give me a trip to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt, I'll sign up for it. Nashville's a fun town. Vanderbilt is about the best team you could hope to get on your schedule. And then the Kentucky game on the road in Lexington. South Carolina needs to beat up on Kentucky a few times. They need to win this year here in Columbia. They need to win next year, kind of reestablish dominance in this particular rivalry, because all indications are whatever the schedule ends up being, whether it's 1-7, 3-6, whatever formula, however they do scheduling in the SEC moving forward, all indications are South Carolina and Kentucky will be connected and play each other each and every year. If it's the 1-7 model, Kentucky's going to be the permanent. If it's the 3-6, Kentucky will be one of the three. Whatever it ends up being, everybody I've talked to and everybody seems to indicate that South Carolina and Kentucky will face each other on a yearly basis moving forward. So there was your schedule from yesterday coming out for the 2024 season. LSU, Mississippi, Missouri, and Texas A&M at Williams-Brice Stadium. Alabama, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky on the road. Throw in Clemson on the road as well. And then your other three non-conference games, Old Dominion, Akron, and Wofford. I think it's about as good a schedule as you could ask for. You know, you're going to, it's the SEC every year. There's really no point in saying anymore, oh, our schedule's so hard, because moving forward, that is what it's always going to be that way. You're never going to catch a break. There's never going to be a season in the SEC where you look at it and go, well, that's relatively manageable. The only way you do that is if you're the number one team in the country, like Georgia is, and you're so far ahead of everybody else. That's how the schedule becomes easy. So you want to make it easy, get yourself better. Rise yourself above Kentucky and Missouri and Texas A&M and whoever else you're going to play, move Florida whenever you get Tennessee back on the schedule. But that's my other question to you as we roll along this hour. 803-404-6100. No Georgia, no Tennessee, no Florida. 1 year deal right now. Okay, 1 year deal it looks like. But how do you feel about that? Do you care? Are you upset? Did you see it last night? You're like, man, I love playing Georgia. Love it when the Bulldogs come to Columbia. That's what they would have been expected to do in 2024. Georgia would have come to Columbia. Do you say the same thing about going up to Neyland, going to Knoxville? Again, Florida would have been down in technically, I guess, would have been down in Gainesville if you'd have based off the regular schedule. So that's what we've got moving forward with the schedule. If you want to weigh in on that this morning, 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in if you want to do so. When we come back, we'll let you hear a little bit of Shane, or we'll let you hear the whole interview. It's about 12 minutes. And Shane Beamer on CBS Radio yesterday, he talked about Spencer Rattler. He talked about the North Carolina game. He talked about preventing a slow start to the season. There's a lot of stuff he got into. He was on CBS Radio yesterday. So if you haven't heard it, we're going to play it for you, let you hear what Coach Beamer had to say. It's Bill Gunner. It's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Hours after Las Vegas' Stanley Cup victory, the Concussion Legacy Foundation Canada announced that Hall of Famer Andre Richard had stage 3 CTE. Unlike most NHL players posthumously diagnosed with CTE, a 5'7", 160-pound pocket rocket was not a fight-provoking enforcer. Despite mounting evidence linking hockey to CTE, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman continues to deny any connection. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
This summer, Epic comes home with the Disney Bundle with Avatar: The Way of Water and Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion on Disney+. This is personal. The Kardashians on Hulu and Flamin' Hot on both Disney Plus and Hulu.
I'm the guy who helped bring the world the most popular snack it's ever seen.
Plus, Major League Baseball and the PGA Tour on ESPN Plus. All these and more streaming this summer, starting at just $9.99 a month. Plans with ESPN Plus starting at $12.99 a month. Blackouts and restrictions apply. 18 plus only. Access content from each service separately. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Terms apply.
Lowe's knows the best deals for dad. Hurry to shop our best Father's Day gifts from the brands he loves for less. Right now, get the Master Forge 23-inch charcoal grill for only $98, valued at $149. And buy one DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill or impact driver kit for just $99. Shop the final days of Father's Day deals now. Lowe's knows dads. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/18. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Millions of small business owners like Leanna Lynn choose Spectrum Business.
Spectrum Business services are essential to our business.
Call 855-282-FAST to choose Spectrum Business for your business. Get fast, reliable internet starting at $49.99 per month and the Spectrum Business Connect phone system with video conferencing for just $19.99 per month to get a free mobile line for 1 year.
I cannot live without it.
Call 855-282-FAST to choose Spectrum Business today. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Hey, y'all. Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Steven Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites, so call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
2 accidents to let you know about. Highway 1 at I-77. Also Highway 6 at I-20. You will find a tie-up there. 86 with a few possible pop-up storms today. 91 for tomorrow. 89 on Saturday. So summer is heating up. It's 70 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Let you listen to some Shane Beamer here on CBS here in just a second, as he covered a lot of different topics yesterday. It's about 12 minutes. Again, the improvements he saw last year, Spencer Rattler, the Dow Loggins hire, the North Carolina game. We'll let you listen to all that here in just a second. But if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100, obviously talking about the 2024 schedule. Look, let's be honest. Again, we need to get through 2023. 2024, South Carolina's breaking in a new quarterback to begin with. Tanner Bailey, Luke Doty, Lenora Seller. I have no idea. It's a long way away. You got to get through 2023. But certainly it gave us something to talk about yesterday. And as I've mentioned, I got no problems with it. Good schedule. I think the SEC did a good job. If I have one complaint, one singular complaint, it would be that this thing should be a 9-game schedule. 3 permanents, 6 rotating. That's me. I'm all for the 9-game schedule. I believe Charles has some issues with the schedule. Charles, just so we know, you're not the same Charles that called in hour number 1, are you?
No.
Okay, just making sure. All right, go right ahead. What you got this morning?
Well, I just think it's a shame to lose the Georgia game off the schedule. I could care less if we ever played Missouri again, and I just think it's ridiculous to lose Georgia and have Missouri or A&M for that matter. I mean, I don't want to play all these West teams. I just don't enjoy the games.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, Tennessee should be on there, Florida, Georgia. I understand they've got to make changes, but Georgia to me is a rival. I mean, it might not be to Georgia fans, but to me, I want to do nothing more than beat them. I mean, the only team I hate worse than Georgia is Clemson.
No, what you're saying is right. If I would agree 100% with you if this was permanent. It's not good. We don't think we don't think it's going to be permanent. I would be totally on board with you if they were saying, "Hey, this is how it's going to kind of be for the next 10 to 12 years." I don't think Georgia will be a permanent opponent for South Carolina. I think you're going to see them twice every 4 years if they go to the 3-6 model or the 1-7 model. I'm with you. Tennessee is the one that I actually think has become more of a rivalry with South Carolina than Georgia. I'm with you on that. Georgia doesn't see South Carolina as a rival. Georgia sees South Carolina much in the same way that South Carolina sees Kentucky. But I'm okay with it for 1 year. To be honest with you, I didn't even notice until about 30 minutes after that South Carolina, I was just kind of going over everything else. It really didn't sink in that South Carolina doesn't play Tennessee, Georgia, or Florida. The 3, by the way, closest opponents for South Carolina in the SEC. I guess Auburn's probably right there on the cusp of being within that 5-hour range. I think Gainesville's about 5.5 hours. South Carolina's closest road trip in 2024 is Vanderbilt. And but Charles, I'd be with you if it was a permanent thing. It's not going to be, and I think you'll see Tennessee be a permanent opponent, maybe Florida as well. Georgia, we'll find out because Georgia's got to preserve Georgia, Florida, and Georgia, Auburn.
I understand. I'm not a big fan of this, but hopefully this thing in the long run works out. We'll all enjoy these games, but the away at Oklahoma, that's a long trek. That's a really long trek.
It is, but we hadn't been there, and I'm all for that. I'm all for some different venues. Appreciate the phone call, Charles. Let's let you listen. This is Shane Beamer. He was on CBS Sports Radio yesterday with Zach, I believe it's Gelb. It's about 12 minutes. I don't think it is aired here in Columbia, so I don't think anybody has heard this unless you tracked it down over Twitter or something. But this is Shane Beamer yesterday on CBS Sports Radio. Again, about 12 minutes. Let's let you listen to the entire thing in full. Here's what Shane Beamer had to say yesterday.
I thought a lot of grit to improve as the year went on. We didn't get off to a great start. Started out 0-2 in the SEC, 1-2 overall. But, we were a team that just continued to get better as the year went on and went from a 1-2 stretch to opening up to a 4-game winning streak and nationally ranked, and then great wins over some big-time opponents in the last month of the season. So proud of the way our guys fought all year, proud of the way that we continued to get better as the year went on. And, that last year is behind us. And we've moved on, but certainly things that we've learned from last year that we'll take into this season with us.
It's so tough to build trust in a program. The first 2 years, your results have been pretty damn good. How have you been able to build that trust and build that culture?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we got great people in our program, the young men on our team, the coaches, staff. I think there's great alignment in our football program. Everybody's going in the same direction and believes in the same things. And then I just think the consistency is key. Our players see from myself and the rest of the coaching staff that we don't say one thing and do another. We are who we are, and we stay consistent week in, week out. And, that steadiness, consistency, hopefully, shows with the way that we play on Saturdays. And we've got to continue to do that, and got a long way to go to get where we want to be. But very proud of what we've done the first couple of seasons. And as we continue to recruit great players and bring great people into this program, our success will continue to grow.
You took over a program that at the time, the year before, went 2-8. I know that you've been waiting for this moment your entire life, but you also know, even though there may be some patience, a lot of times if you don't win quickly, then people start to go south on the hire. Did you feel that pressure early on? Because it doesn't seem that way.
No, I didn't. I mean, I'm not naive. I get it. I coach in the SEC, and you've seen coaches that have won a national championship in this conference, and they're fired less than 2 years later. So I understand the arena that I'm in without a doubt, but I know it's cliche, but I'll be honest. I mean, I really just, when I got the job, I knew we had a lot of work to do, but all I was focused on was each and every day, day in, day out, just trying to improve the program and get better on and off the field, and knew the results would take care of themselves. And that's really what I was focusing on. If I start thinking too much about, the negative and what could happen if we don't win, that's not helping anybody. So I got great administration, great support. And then the other thing too is when I came here, I mean, we had good players in this program when I got here, and felt like we had enough good players in year one to win some games, and we did. And we've got to just continue to improve day in, day out.
How'd you get your kids to believe so early? Because I heard you say in other interviews you were kind of surprised that the confidence was a little bit shot when you took over.
Yeah, I was. As a team, like you just alluded to, the year before I got here, they had won 2 games, and that was the COVID year, so there wasn't a lot of, excitement and joy in the program. And then the confidence had taken a hit with everything that had happened on the field the previous 2 seasons. So for us, it was just trying to bring a positive mindset of every day in the building, great positive energy, and staying positive. Trying to build a team as quickly as we could, just the togetherness that we needed within our roster, for sure. And then really just trying to find ways to just celebrate small victories, whether it be academically a great grade that a player made on a test and spotlighting that, or something on the practice field. Really just trying to instill competition as much as we could in every single thing that we did and do on and off the field.
Shane Beamer here with us. I know you had a change in the offensive coordinating position as Marcus Satterfield did take the OC job at Nebraska. You end up making the hire of Dow Loggins. What made him the right guy to help run your offense?
I knew Dow. I'd never worked with him, but knew him. I've known him for a long time, since I was an assistant coach here before with Coach Spurrier back around the 2007, 2008 time frame. So I'd known Dow for over 15 years, knew what kind of person he was, great background in the NFL, had been with multiple teams, but more importantly, he had worked with multiple quarterbacks. His background is as a quarterback coach, and he had worked with veterans like Jay Cutler and Matt Hasselbeck to rookies like Sam Darnold or whatnot. So he had been around a lot of different guys. And then I think that his years that he's been in college football, he spent some time at Penn State with James Franklin as an analyst. He coached tight ends at Arkansas the last 2 seasons. So he was really intriguing to me because of the kind of person he is and his recruiting skills that he showed in 2 years at Arkansas. But then I liked the fact that he had been in the NFL, but he'd also spent time in college. He wasn't married to, quote-unquote, a pro-style system, and this is how you have to do it. His time in college, I think, really helped him understand that sometimes I think guys in the NFL maybe overcomplicate things, and the hash marks are different in college football, and how you can take advantage of the width of the field in college football different than you can in the NFL. So there were a lot of things that were appealing, and he's been fantastic, even better than I expected when I hired him. He's a great person, like I said. He's been a great recruiter for us. Our players love him, and excited to see what he'll do with our offense, not just this year, but as we continue to build this thing going down the road.
Whenever you bring in a new voice, Shane Beamer, there's always an adjustment period. I know you talked about that slow start last year. No favors on the schedule early on. You got UNC and Georgia, 2 out of your first 3 games. How do you try to prevent a slow start when you're bringing a new voice?
Yeah, no, it's a great question and great point. And we're not tiptoeing into anything this year. We're going to have to score points to win football games, especially early on. You know, it started in spring practice, and kind of you got 15 practices in the spring to get a good analysis of our strengths and where we are, who our best personnel, you know, who they are. That's what the summertime's for as well. The NCAA allows us to do a little bit more with our players in the summertime than we have, and than we could maybe 5 years ago. So taking advantage of that time in the summer. And then we've got to do a great job in August. I mean, we've got essentially 3 weeks of practice, and then we're into, regular game week. So in a short period of time, we've got to, volume is not necessarily a great thing, meaning the amount of offense you have in. Let's figure out what we do well. Let's figure out who our best players are. And then let's find ways to just continue to, repeat and do things multiple ways, the things that we do really well, and getting the ball to the players that give us the best chance to be successful. And hopefully we'll be clicking early.
And as a college football fan, I'm really excited with your first game up against UNC because Spencer Rattler is so easy to root for. And then we know what Drake May, their quarterback, is capable of. Yeah, that'll be a fantastic matchup. We played North Carolina in the bowl game 2 years ago and heard so much. Sam Howell was the quarterback for that team, but heard so much going into that game about Drake May and how excited the North Carolina coaches and program was about him. And you've seen that now since then. What a fantastic player. He's elite. There's a reason everybody says he's going to be a top 5 draft pick. And we feel really good about our quarterback as well. So that's a program we have a lot of respect for, and a coach in Mack Brown that I have a lot of respect for, and will be a great matchup right in Charlotte. There'll be tons of Gamecocks in the stands, tons of Tar Heels, and that's an exciting week 1 matchup to say the least. How do you look back at the season that Spencer Rattler just had for you guys? I think he's a guy. His season. I think a lot of people act like. I get asked that question a lot, and a lot of people phrase it as the last couple of games. Well, he did some really good things before we got to November. Now, was he throwing for 500 yards a game? No, but he led us to our first win against Kentucky in Lexington in a long time. He led us to our first win ever over Texas A&M. We overcame a 1-2 start to win 4 games in a row and become nationally ranked. So Spencer did some great things throughout the season. Maybe statistically it wasn't great until the end, but I was pleased with him. I think maybe in his mind early on in the season was maybe a little bit conservative from his standpoint, maybe hesitant to make some throws for fear of making mistakes. I don't know, or throwing interceptions, but I think Spencer did a great job late in the season of just cutting it loose, not worried about making mistakes, and just giving our receivers and tight ends the opportunities to go make plays with the ball in the air. And those guys did it for him in our last few games down the stretch, and he's got to continue to build on that. And in his defense too, I mean, he was a guy, he transferred in, he had to learn a new system, he was throwing new new receivers and tight ends and running backs, so it was a learning process for him. And going back to what you said a minute ago, it's going to be the same thing this year. He's going to be throwing to a lot of new faces, and we can't wait to Game 7 or Game 8 to have a good rapport with those guys. That needs to be something that's built throughout the off season, and that's what we've been doing since January. With Spencer Rattler now, year 2 under your program and the face of your offense, what do you think he could accomplish this year? I think the sky's the limit. I mean, from a talent standpoint, there's no question. I mean, the guy can make all the throws on the field. His body, I think he's more
more imposing physically than what he was last year. He's changed his body around in a lot of ways. I think he looks more muscular. That'll help him from a durability standpoint. He's a better athlete than people give him credit for. He can run, and then he can make all the throws. And I think he's got a great comfort level with what we're doing offensively. We didn't necessarily just blow up everything that we did last season. There's a lot of carryover from last season, and there's some new stuff that we're doing this season. But Spencer's got good pieces around, good players around him, good personnel, and he's coming into the season with great confidence, and leadership skills have improved. So I'm excited to, see what he does. I'm not worried about Spencer. We've got to just continue to develop the people around him. He's going to be playing with a lot of true freshmen around him on the offensive line and that tight end and that receiver and that running back. And those guys got to do a great job of elevating their games and helping Spencer have the kind of season that I know he can have.
We know the highs and lows of this sport, Shane Beamer, and you saw it with Jalen Hurts. Do you feel like Spencer Rattler could have a Jalen Hurts type of season that Hurts had his final year at Oklahoma?
I would hope. I mean, if we did, that means we just won an SEC championship and we're playing in the playoffs. So that would be fantastic. Jalen's an unbelievable leader, a great player, even better person of all those. And Spencer's got a lot of qualities. He's improved as a leader. Spencer's a great person and a talented player. So, I'm excited about what he can do this season and excited about all the players that we have in our program and the kind of people they are and the way they've been working since January. And we're eager to get going here in a couple months.
That was Shane Beamer yesterday on CBS Sports Radio with Zach Gelb. Again, a lot of stuff in there. A couple things that I'll bring back up when we come back, specifically coming out of the gate hot. South Carolina's first two openers under Shane Beamer, well, thankfully it was Eastern Illinois and Georgia State because they didn't come out very hot. It took some work there to get by both of those teams. Thankfully, Eastern Illinois was not good at all. But we'll get into that a little bit when we come back. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Dave's Hot Chicken at 4601 Divine Street in Columbia is having their grand opening on Friday, and 107.5 The Game will be there. Heath Klein will be doing game time from Dave's Hot Chicken from 3 to 6 p.m. That's Heath, Friday from 3 to 6 at the grand opening of Dave's Hot Chicken, 4601 Divine Street.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. Chelsea and Madison. Some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
O'Hara's Public House is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. Log on to 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $50 gift certificate to O'Hara's for just $25.
OMG! New Jeeps, $10,000 off.
Gotta go to Galliano.
It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition, and we'll get you out of your current lease or loan, even if you have months left or still owe thousands. You'll be shocked by how much Galliana will give you for your trade toward the purchase of a new Chrysler or Jeep. New Jeep Grand Cherokees up to $8,000 off. New Jeep Gladiators up to $10,000 $10,000 off. Lease a new Jeep Compass for just $279 per month at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
Max savings on Gladiator stock number 34014. Grand Cherokee stock number 37054. 36 month lease, $49.99 due at signing. Plus tax and tag and closing fee. No security deposit. Negative trade equity financed and new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Welcome back to Carolina Power Equipment and our special guest, Kai Kroger, punter extraordinaire for the University of South Carolina.
Yep, it's Kai Boda country right here at Carolina Power Equipment.
That's Kubota, Kai.
Oh, right. That's what I said.
Tell everyone why you love these Kubota zero turns.
They're like our best running backs. They can cut through anything, and they're built like our biggest linebacker, tough as nails. Plus, they can stop and turn on a dime, just like my sweet kicks.
Don't forget about all the Kubota tractors. This place is a Kubota superstore.
I love these Kubota tractors. They keep winning awards for being the best in the business.
It's like the Ray Guy Award for Best Punter, where you were clearly robbed.
Moving on, if you're a landowner, these Kai Boda tractors simply outkick the competition.
Kai Boda? Nice try, buddy.
Tried a little fake there. I'm kind of known for that.
Carolina Power Equipment, 2490 Charleston Highway in the heart of Casey. Or visit CarolinaPowerEquipment.com.
Kubota, it's the only orange I'll ever love.
Hello, friends. This is Bill McDaniels. You know, I've always wanted a truck franchise, and now we have the very best. Gibbs Ford is now McDaniels Ford, and we're celebrating our grand opening in Orangeburg. Rest assured, our 34-year auto group brings the know-how and the customer care to the renowned Ford SUV and truck lines. Best of all, with no additional dealer markup. Come experience the McDaniels difference at McDaniels Ford in Orangeburg, 2840 St. Matthews Road, exit 145.
Can you imagine being free again?
You're free again.
A songbird in a crystal sky.
A dolphin in the Caribbean.
A puppy exploring a big backyard.
You escaped the handcuffs of the junk that held you captive.
You escaped because you called 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Our clean and shiny trucks haul away your distractions.
And leave your home sparkling with joy.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security. And a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
79 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Still working that earlier accident, Highway 1 at I-77. Also, Malfunction Junction has a tie-up I-26 eastbound right there at I-20. Could see a pop-up shower or storm today. 86 for the high, 91 dry and hot conditions tomorrow. 89 on Saturday, 70 right now at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$8:41 on a Thursday morning as we kind of wrap things up here. Been a lot of fun. We've discussed the schedule announcement from last night. Again, it's just different. Like Charles said, Charles that called in there in the previous segment said, hey, don't like it. Play Georgia. I want to play Georgia every year. And I do understand there is a, I don't know if it's a majority. I don't know if it's a minority. I don't know how many of you are in the same boat with Charles as to like, hey, Georgia's got to be on the schedule yearly. I would prefer for South Carolina, Georgia to not go away. As long as this is a 1-year deal, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with 1 year not playing Georgia. It's not because they're too good or South Carolina hasn't beaten them. I just a little break. This is, to me, what we're getting is a 1 year deal, and I get to see some different teams. Look, I said it yesterday, and I agree with Charles. I agree with us. Playing Missouri, I hope Preston is messing with me, as excited as he is getting about the Mayor's Cup and the Bonham Trophy for Texas A&M and all that gibberish. But I'm okay with Missouri. Yes, if I like the schedule I drew up the other day that had Oklahoma in Columbia and it had Tennessee on it. To be quite honest, if you had me rank them, it would be Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida as far as the order of teams I'd rather play over Missouri and Texas A&M. But I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. And moving forward. But I like the opportunity to go to Tuscaloosa. Again, I look at it, but the first way I view it is as a fan, what is the most fun for me? Win or lose, look, I've never been on a bad road trip. Somehow, some way, I managed to have a lot of fun down in Birmingham at the Papa John's Bowl. I feel like that was the litmus test where you learn exactly what your fandom is on traveling. Like, are you able to go to Birmingham, Alabama around New Year's, and it's 20 degrees and you're in a dump of a stadium and they're running out of pizza and you're getting your butt whipped by Connecticut? I can't tell you that the game experience was a lot of fun, but I can tell you that the tailgate and the hanging around and seeing friends, that was a blast. The game, not so much. Losing to Connecticut 20-6 is not the way to spend a day after New Year. I think it was 2 days after New Year's.
That sounds right. Yeah. But I feel sure that, you're pretty capable of finding ways to enjoy yourself, have fun, tailgate. You're kind of the master of all that.
I'm a very social person, aside from one time when the North Carolina lacrosse team about took me out back because there was some confusion. And it's actually a funny story. Terry Ford's in here doing some stuff. It's actually kind of an entertaining story. We walked into when South Carolina played up at North Carolina back in like 2007, 2008. I went in with a buddy of mine. We went in a bar. We just going in to hang out, had our Carolina gear on. And there was a semi-passed out Carolina fan who had been causing trouble that was standing in front of us. And we were trying to order beverages. And there was confusion that people thought we were with that guy. And so the guy would like raise his head every few minutes and just in a drunken stupor, just mutter stuff to people around him. He'd already created some trouble. And so we're just trying to navigate around him and order our drinks. And so they start booing all of us. So stupid me takes my hat, my Gamecock hat, like waves it around. And about that time, my buddy starts elbowing me like, man, you might want to shut up. This is we're not in a good position. I turn on as like, obviously I'm not a big dude, but it was like 4 or 5, 6'3", 6'4", muscular guys behind us ready to escort us out. And they kind of said something to me, and I was just like, no, we're just here to have fun. He's like, well, you're with this guy. Y'all have got to go, and you're going one of two ways. Oh. Either through the air or, with a foot up your rear end. And we was like, wait a minute, we're not with that guy. We're, we don't even know. They're like, oh, you don't know him. We're like, no, I'll buy you a drink. We'll buy you drinks. Well, they escorted him out, and then we ended up hanging out with him all night, and they took us to some of the little college bars and stuff. We had a blast. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I'm very capable of going on road trips.
Making the best of a situation.
There was also the weird experience in Tuscaloosa the last time we went where we had a really good time. And I don't know if he necessarily looked completely like him, but again, it was late at night and we were at a Tuscaloosa bar and I thought we ran into Paul Walker. Rest in peace, Paul Walker.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was actually Chris Smelly. I knew I recognized him from somewhere.
Okay.
So I've learned to go and have a good time. And so going back to Tuscaloosa.
You said early on when we started doing this show, you are the swizzle stick in the beverage. You stir things up, make things a lot of fun.
So yeah, I am perfect. Again, these road trips, Nashville's a lot of fun. Again, I look forward to trying to get out to Norman, Oklahoma for that game. I think the schedule, and then again, the strength of schedule. If you're that person who's like, man, I want kind of the easiest schedule we can hit. I think South Carolina got that as well because look, you should be able to compete and beat Missouri. Should be. You Texas A&M. I have no clue None of us have a clue what Texas A&M is going to be like with Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino and that cast of characters they got out there.
We want to start off strong, though. It's like we need to start that series or, start playing them, and we need to beat them. So we kind of get that. We make our mark first.
That's right. So I'm all content with it. I like the schedule for 2024, and then listening to Shane Beamer there. I'll get into that as we wrap up the Thursday morning episode. There is what he's saying about starting strong against North Carolina. Dow Loggins has to have a game plan ready to go from the moment the ball is kicked September 2nd against North Carolina. There is no easing in to the 2023 schedule for South Carolina. 803-404-6100. A couple of you weighing in very quickly. Harry, he's saying the UConn bowl game was awful, brutally cold, in terrible performance, no pizza. Even their band outperformed our band. It was a bad day. It was absolutely rough. And then anonymous texter says, coldest day of my life. Ugh.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Cold with football games, you expect a little of that, but when it gets bitter cold, like Bears fans, I am one, but I'm not enough of a fan that I'm going to bundle up to the point where I look like Nanook of the North. No.
If you're winning and celebrating with the people around you and high-fiving,
it probably helps.
It's a lot warmer. When you're getting drilled into the awful Legion Field turf, just an awful stadium, just nasty. It was bad all the way around. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the Thursday morning episode of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the Garnet Trust Hour, new Gamecocks guard forward Miles Studi will be in studio with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Keeping a nice, clean home, especially after you come home after a long weekend of tailgating, as we were just talking about. Well, having the home nice and clean, yes, it's important. Make sure you take advantage of the summer sale going on right now with Zero Res and their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpets, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery. Well, you get the point. It's going to keep it insanely clean, and it's going to keep it insanely clean for a lot longer as well. Not only that, it won't leave behind a sticky, soapy residue. That's right. You can roll around on it. The kids can roll around on it. The dog and cats can. You get the point. Perfectly safe. Zero Res, taking care of families like mine and yours. Contact them today, 803-262-4020, and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get a discount, 15% off all cleaning services, whatever it is you need. Maybe it's even the air ducts, whatever it is, call Zero Res and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off all cleaning services. If you want to use the web, it's easy to do that as well. ZeroResColumbia.com. Use the promo code Summer Sale. Again, that is Summer Sale, the promo code from Zero Res. Make that phone call today. Line up the appointment, 803-262-4020, or schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Stop waiting for a great deal on better sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is happening now. Save up to $700 on top brands when you get a king bed for a queen price. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today to get the right bed at the right price.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Hood team at Coldwell Banker. You know, the Columbia real estate market continues to evolve. In fact, our market is now one of the fastest growing in all of the United States. Danny Hood, Karen Hood, their son, William DiMaggio, have more than 37 years of experience in Columbia real estate, and they're ready to help you, whether it's buying or selling your home. 803-730-2512, thehoodteam.com. Put those years of experience to work for you with the Hood team.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Can you imagine being free again?
You're free again.
A songbird in a crystal sky.
A dolphin in the Caribbean.
A puppy exploring a big backyard.
You escaped the handcuffs of the junk that held you captive.
You escaped because you called 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Our clean and shiny trucks haul away your distractions.
And leave your home sparkling with joy.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
It's the grand opening of Dave's Hot Chicken. Try the best hot chicken in South Carolina. Dave's Hot Chicken. Located at 4601 Divine Street, right next to Moe's. Game Time with Heath Klein will be broadcasting live from Dave's Hot Chicken on Friday, June 16th from 3 to 6 p.m. We'll be giving away Carolina football tickets. Yep, Carolina football tickets for the upcoming season. You don't want to miss out. Dave's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in South Carolina. Grand opening on June 16th. Lexington Medical Heart and Vascular Center has once again earned the nation's highest ratings for 3 types of heart surgery, and they're the only hospital in South Carolina to do it. These elite 3-star ratings mean the best heart care in the nation is available to you right here at home.
Hey everybody, a good Thursday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update. The only thing we've seen so far popping up on the map that caused problems was a bit earlier in the morning, and that was I-20 westbound near exit 65, a brief accident that has since been cleared. Otherwise, no major problems. Confirmed collisions on our main roadways and interstates. Make it a great travel day. If anything big happens, we'll of course keep you posted later in the morning. Thanks again for checking. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I am meteorologist Tony Schiafaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed.
Oh, guess he wasn't patient enough to wait.
Shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Wrapping up the Thursday morning edition of the Early Game. I think we had a caller who just dropped. I think his name, I apologize if I'm getting this wrong. I think his name was Greg, and he was going to ask about why there's so much dislike for Missouri and hate. I don't think it's hate. I will say the women's basketball team, and then was it the girl Sophie Cunningham? The Missouri, that little situation, the women's basketball, there's probably a hate issue, dislike issue, whatever. You try not to be overly dramatic with the word hate. I don't know how Missouri fans necessarily feel about South Carolina. I just don't think that there's a connection between the programs. It feels forced.
Yeah, I think basically it's going on what Preston was talking about. I mean, it's the Mayor's Cup, so we're trying to make this. We've kind of forced a quote rivalry, and there really, I don't think, is one that much. But yeah, it's an awkward situation. So I from the football side, I mean, I'm kind of vanilla on it. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna play Missouri, great, whatever. We need to beat them. We've lost, a few years, so that's a team we really should be beating. So, I'd like to see that for the resurgence of victories against them.
I don't think it's I could be wrong. I don't think it is a dislike, though. I think it's more of just Missouri fans might want to actually play Kansas more. And I know Kansas is not in the. I'll give you an example. Missouri fans, kind of like South Carolina fans, would rather play a Georgia or somebody. Missouri has ties with Texas and Oklahoma from the Big 12 days. You might want to play them a little bit more. I don't think that South Carolina fans dislike Missouri football. It's just kind of like,
Okay,
yeah.
That's how I kind of feel about them.
So, anyway, personal opinion, I could be completely wrong. 803-404-6100. If you want to weigh in on that, we'll get to it tomorrow. Chris Deering in again. I got a feeling it's going to be a little bit more serious. If you want to tune in, 7 a.m. We're going to do a year in review of the high school, the highlights as we do with Chris Deering. We're going to get into a little bit of the charter school versus 2A competition deal. Obviously, it's been a very hot topic. Lou Beesjack has a very good article on in the state newspaper recently. I think Tuesday, is when he put it out, the 13th. If you want to read into that, but certainly it has been something that's been very polarizing we'll get into that tomorrow with Chris Deering. Carrie Tharp will join us. Preston will be here for the whole show. We'll wrap up the week in style. Good job, Jen.
I'm here to help.
Let's take a break today. We've done enough. We'll see you tomorrow.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is defensive lineman Alex Hunley, and you're listening to Home of the Gamecocks 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South